approved giving more than $5 million to Presence Health for expansion, despite the hospital's pro-life policy, as AM 560's David Stewart reports.
The TIF grant will be used to expand Presence's downtown headquarters and build 4 clinics in underserved neighborhoods. Opponents like Alderman Leslie Hairston say without birth control and abortion at Presence, poor people will be relegated to substandard service.
Access to health care means all aspects, including a woman's reproductive rights and her reproductive health.
Supporters, including Mayor Emanuel, say the Presence Care Centers are needed.
Communities across the city on the south and west side are going to have access to preventive care they do not have, and you and I and our families do.
David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Illinois is on pace to see a race for governor that could cost $100 million. The latest campaign finance reports from the last 3 months of 2017 show that Bruce Rauner and J.B. Pritzker have spent almost $30 million between the two of them. Chicago will make a pitch for the Apple plan's second headquarters. The tech giant announcing plans yesterday to create, they say, over 20,000 jobs at a new campus and in its existing offices. Mayor Emanuel says the city will compete to try and twist Apple's arm.
I think companies are realizing where they are is not a long-term strategy. And Chicago, I think, has a lot to offer.
The location of that new headquarters will be announced later this year. The Illinois State Board of Education says Illinois lawmakers need to almost double what the state is spending on public schools. But no one at the state board yesterday could say where Illinois will find the extra $7 billion that they say are suggesting be sent to local schools. The Oak Park Village Board is deciding that hosting the Divvy bike sharing service is a losing proposition. They're voting to end it. There's an opening to play quarterback at the University of Illinois. 2 of them, actually. 2 quarterbacks, Jeff George Jr., yes, that is the son of the former Illini quarterback, and Chase Crouch. Both left the team yesterday. George says he wants to spend his last 2 years of college football actually playing at a different school, while Crouch says he's simply ending his football career. In all, 11 other Illini football players have also left the team since the end of the season. Warriors came to life in the third quarter and struggled to put away the Bulls, but did so, finally, 119-112. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson combined for 13 threes and 68 points to lead Golden State to the win. Bulls guard Justin Holiday says the game was a measuring stick for his team.
I guess it could be seen that way, yeah. Again, I just think we come out and try to play every game to win. I guess it's a good, game for us to look and say, okay, look, we're this close to this type of team, but I'm still, upset that we lost, really.
Around college hoops last night, Northwestern fell to number 22 Ohio State in the Valley. Illinois State dumped Bradley, and Loyola topped SIU 79-65. The news service of TrueCar. Looking to buy a car, online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore. With True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for a car you want and see what others paid for it when you're ready to buy a new or used car. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. 507. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you've got an Amazon Alexa device, then you know it can do a lot of things. It can set reminders. It can keep track of your shopping list. It can answer unusual questions. And it can also play this radio station. Just say, Alexa, play The Answer Chicago. That's all it takes, and it works on all Alexa devices. The Echo Dot, and Amazon Show. So now, Alexa will really have all the answers you need.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in. Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Our first look with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Seeing delays on I-80 eastbound. The Veterans Memorial Tollway, 355 to before Parker Road. There's a crash there. 2 left lanes are blocked. Westbound side is clear. Inbound Kennedy. Heavy Randolph into the Burns Circle. 3 left lanes have been blocked there with overnight work. There were also some intermittent closures, entire full closures, but that's wrapping up now. And some of the downtown ramps, which had been closed, are now reopening. Lakeshore Drive northbound at Bryn Mawr. The north side had a crash reported. And police presence remains very heavy in the area around 66th and Evans after the overnight shootings. Traffic service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple. You can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states. Equal housing lender, MLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny and breezy, high 32. Then a mainly clear and breezy night tonight, low 23. For tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and milder, high 40. Partly cloudy and breezy at night, low 29. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
17 at O'Hare, 18 along Chicago's lakefront, 18 at Midway. This morning in Lansing, it's 15, and it is 15 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Heard Saturdays at noon right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We got a construction zone here.
Every Thursday or so, every Thursday the keyboard. That's what it sounds like. The co-host keyboard goes out, so we get out the power drill, the DeWalt, flip the reverse button, and take out the stuff.
Nice product placement.
Yeah, it's a pretty good drill. It's pretty solid. I like it. Better than the one I have at home.
All right.
Bad boy, man. You mess with me, Dan, today, I'm going to get the drill.
Well, I'll tell you what, the drill son, you think of the dentist. And,
I know, don't you?
And when I listen to Jeff Flake speak to an empty Senate chamber, I sort of think of the dentist, too, that drill sound penetrating
my gray matter for the 14 minutes that Jeff Flake spoke, where
It was so bad. You know how bad was it?
how bad was it?
Well, thanks for asking. They didn't. He spoke for 14 minutes, and they only put 9 minutes up for people to watch on C-SPAN 2.
Why,
The Deuce. I mean,
if you can't make the cut for the full complement of your remarks on C-SPAN 2, that says something about the quality of the content, I suspect. But this was much anticipated by the D.C. press corps, and we'll get to the gala last night, that star-studded affair, and the awards that the president handed out for the annual, probably will be an annual fake news.
yeah, and I can't wait to
award
hear
show.
what you wore
Yeah,
for the fake news awards.
I like to wear Valentino for the award shows.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of old Hollywood that way.
Yeah, I could see that.
But Jeff Flake, this was being bandied about, trying to be the D.C. press corps tried to pump it up, and the outgoing senator from Arizona wasted no time comparing the President of the United States to the worst of the 20th century's despots, Stalin and others. It was a regular Dick Durbin performance, as if he was talking about our military.
It was a year in which an unrelenting daily assault on the constitutionally protected free speech was launched by the same White House, an assault that is as unprecedented as it is unwarranted. The enemy of the people was how the President of the United States called the free press in 2017. Mr. President, it is a testament to the condition of our democracy that our own president uses words infamously spoken by Joseph Stalin to describe his enemies. It bears noting that so fraught with malice was the phrase enemy of the people that even Nikita Khrushchev forbade its use, telling the Soviet Communist Party that the phrase had been introduced by Stalin for the purpose of, quote, annihilating such individuals, unquote, who disagreed with the supreme leader. This alone should be the source of great shame for us in this body, especially for those of us in the President's party, for they are shameful, repulsive statements. And of course, the President has it precisely backward. Despotism is the enemy of the people. The free press is the despot's enemy, which makes the free press the guardian of democracy. When a figure in power reflexively calls any press that doesn't suit him fake news, it is that person who should be the figure of suspicion.
Do you agree that President Trump is not as much of a freedom fighter as Nikita Khrushchev, but perhaps not as bad as Joseph Stalin? He's somewhere between Khrushchev and Stalin, according to Jeff Flake. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. It seems like maybe Jeff Flake misses the Cold War or something.
I know. Well, he's desperately trying to be relevant. I mean, he doesn't have much time left on the Senate, not in life, but he it was so painful. I couldn't watch it.
I'm sorry you didn't have more time.
Could not watch it. I watched for about 9 minutes, and then I had to stop. I mean, it was so painful and just a waste of our time, but the media built this up like this is going to be the big takedown of Trump, and it was not that at all. To the issue, though, President Trump, I didn't like when he would throw certain reporters out and not let certain reporters into events during the campaign. But that's part of his campaign. That was part of his shtick. That was part of his, reality TV world that he lived in.
Mm-hmm.
That there's winners and losers, and you can stay and you can go, and I'll answer your question, but I won't answer your question.
Yeah.
But that was a while ago.
Is the President of the United States not answering a particular reporter's question on a particular day an assault on free speech? No. Is the President of the United States even, name-calling members of the press or the press in general? Is that new or an assault on free speech? No, and it's an expression of it. Has the President, despite the fact that he's made noise about tightening up the libel laws, which I don't agree with, despite that, is there a material step that he's taken to restrict the freedom of press in this country? Is this somebody who is on the path to despotism, particularly in comparison to, good grief, Stalin? Is there
a bit of a stretch?
Is there any evidence of that? I mean, it's so the enemy of the people, and the fact that Stalin said that You know who probably doesn't know that Stalin said that? Trump.
Right.
His kind of particular historical knowledge of public policy and American history is surface skimmy, like most people's, frankly. I wish it was more, but let's be honest about what it is. So you think he's invoking that phrase as some kind of a clawback to Stalin's Russia? Come on. I mean, I don't know how people take Jeff Flake seriously with these comments.
That's why, of all the media hype, it didn't even make nightly news. His 14 minutes on the Senate floor. Not even a mention of it was in their half-hour broadcast.
Well,
he was hoping for more, but the media.
He's trying to sell books. I get it.
Yeah.
Trying to, as you said,
Well, he
trying to
needs
be
the next
relevant
act.
on the way out the door.
For me, when I was watching it, it felt like he was auditioning for a cable news show. You're like, look, I'm a hard line. I'm an anti-Trumper, and I'm still a Republican. So hire me because I need a job soon.
Jeff Flake's an interesting case study in something because you see it happen a lot. We don't pay enough attention to it. Jeff Flake comes out of the Goldwater Institute. It's kind of like a libertarian leading conservative out of Arizona when he was first elected to the House. And now look at him. He got Potomac fever. And you see the same thing happen in Springfield. With the 15 Republicans last summer that voted for the Madigan tax hike, that surrendered to Madigan. What do these guys do? They all campaign on being opposed to tax hikes and demand. They're going to go down to Springfield, demand spending reform. They're going to stand up to the powers that be on behalf of the people and all that. And then they vote for the largest permanent tax hike in Illinois history. It's a funny thing how politicians get captured by the institutional interests in politics. And you should take notice of it because it happens to, otherwise good people. And I think there's a lot of people that go, never happened to me. And then they're the people we hold out as examples of who it happened to because there are a lot of inducements to, be part of the in crowd, to be part of the ruling class. A lot of perks attendant to that. And it's a lot easier to fall in than, forever fight to try and change the paradigm. And I think that's what you saw happen with Jeff Flake. And it's sad. But that speech yesterday.
Where was everybody? Was it their lunch break?
Yeah, right.
Were they busy?
What did he think it was going to be? Like some kind of rally in the Senate chamber for him?
More people were there for Al Franken than were there for Jeff Flake's speech.
I think Jeff Flake saw the darkest hour, and he thought that was going to be his Churchillian moment.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey Depot answer line.
All right, we'll pick up your calls on this, get your reactions to Flake after this.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
Today, you're going to like it. It's cold right now. It is about 22 degrees at O'Hare, going up to a high, though, of 32 degrees. Can't wait. We'll have mostly sunny skies. It will be breezy, though. Tonight, a low of 24. And tomorrow, Friday, yes, here, partly sunny skies. Mild, a high of 40 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. I-80 eastbound. We're seeing delays from 355 before Parker. A crash there blocking 2 left lanes. Done right, a little heavy now in the area approaching downtown Chicago. And outbound a little heavy, 87th to 95th with road work. About 17 minutes either way between 95th and downtown. Bishop Ford, a little congestion inbound approaching the merge. Otherwise, the expressways and tollways are looking fine. There is a crash in Elgin on St. Charles Street, not St. Charles Road in the western suburbs. It's on St. Charles Street, just north of US 20. But the streets there are open. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Wake up. I have an important MyPillow reminder. The buy one, get one free offer expires at the end of January. Now, this deal is only available using the promo code AMY, A-M-Y, not available in stores. So if you got a bad night's sleep, if you're waking up right now with a stiff neck or headache, if you had to move your pillow around in the middle of the night, stop sleeping on a bad pillow. Life is too short. Do something for yourself. It is the best thing to do to give yourself the gift of a good night's sleep. So go to mypillow.com, type Amy in the promo code, 2 MyPillows for the price of 1. Give one as a gift, keep one for yourself. There's a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose, and it's made in America using only American labor. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Year after every new year, you make the same resolutions for yourself, hoping that one of these times they just might stick. You know, the whole new year, new you thing. You're gonna lose weight, quit smoking, eat better, find the love of your life. Well, best of luck to you. How about a resolution that can really happen? One for your business's computer and IT network. It's a goal that can be accomplished and realized instantly with the help of Turnkey IT. 2018 is poised for growth. You can't afford to let your business become sidetracked by poor IT assistance or dated computer hardware or software. Remember, in the changing world of IT, what you upgraded a few years ago may not cut it in the new year. One of the biggest parts of your business infrastructure is your IT network, and if that's not right, the impact can cost you a lot of money. Make your resolution today. Be ready to handle the growth expected in 2018 with your business backbone supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, later we have to get to the breaking news story. Tom Brady has a hand injury.
Oh, give me a break. Yeah, nice drama in the run-up to the AFC Championship game.
I'm telling you.
He's listed as probable. Matt Damon is pacing the halls.
Giselle's worried. Mylar balloons going up everywhere.
All right, we were talking about Jeff Flake and his Trump-Stalin speech. Take a couple calls. Andre on I-90.
Good morning.
Morning.
You remember, Dan, you might remember who the first person was to call the mainstream media enemy of the American people. It was actually a Democrat. It was actually Pat Caddell, a member of the Carter administration.
Oh, sure. Pat Caddell pollster. Sure. Yeah.
It's easily Googleable, and it's easily able to find out that he was the first one who said that, and he had some really bad things as a member of the Carter administration to say about the Obama administration.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Thanks for the call, Andre. And it's also a well-known fact that Pat Caddell is a Stalinist. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's ridiculous. That's the point. I mean, I'm as a great man once said.
Oh, here we go. Oh, wait. Was
words
that great
are the
man?
currency of politics.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Words are the currency of politics. So
was that great man Daniel Kevin Proft?
It was. He's very quotable.
Oh my God, that guy.
He's very quotable.
Do you think we can get that guy on our show?
And I think what he was trying to say with those
Mike
remarks.
Scott's like, yeah, we can get that guy on the show.
The importance of so I get the importance of words, but I mean the idea
Words are hard for me.
The idea that I just go back to say, get beyond the phrase and tell me, do you honestly believe? Do you honestly believe? And is there any evidence to support the contention that Trump is on the road to some sort of Stalinist autocracy?
No.
That's what he wants. He wants to eliminate the media that he can't stop watching. Come on. It's just not, I mean, it's not credible. It's silly.
Well, again, I think he did this to try out for a cable news show.
Tony on the South Side.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Listen, I wanted to echo what Dan said about when they get down to the Potomac when they get down to Mordor on the Potomac, they turn this different person. What they keep forgetting is that what Dan says that they're trying to be in the in crowd, but the in crowd was the people that voted them in. That's what they're going there to fight for. And the analogy I'd like to use, like, I got a new name for Flick. I'm going to call him Gollum. Because remember when they had Gollum? He was a good hobbit, right? Until he got that ring. And all of a sudden he became a whole different person. That's exactly what it is.
That's pretty
So
good.
his name is Gollum.
All right.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks, Tony. Now, of course, Tony has also given us Tangerine Jesus.
Oh, that's
describe
right.
Trump.
That's
so,
good.
yeah, Gollum for Flake. Yeah, I like the Lord of the Rings analogy. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, we got to get to those fake news awards.
Oh, I
a lot
can't
of surprises, I thought.
The winners and the losers, and later, the 10 dumbest questions asked to Trump's doctor about his health. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
17 degrees outside, clear skies, and we're watching a powerful storm lash Europe. So powerful that Amsterdam Schiphol Airport has suspended all flights. The Dutch National Rail Service halted all trains as that storm hits the Netherlands. Schools are closing in France. Schools are already closing in Germany. Trees are toppled, tractor trailers, traffic chaos caused by highways being shut down. In fact, the national broadcaster in Amsterdam, NOS, reported the main railway station in The Hague, the Netherlands, was closed because of fears its new glass roof would blow off. The Middle East's largest airline, Emirates, purchasing 20 A380 aircraft with the option for 16 more. That throws a lifeline to the European-made double-decker jumbo jet. A bus fire in Kazakhstan killed 52. Authorities say that only 5 of the 57 on board that bus managed to escape the blaze. The White House backing another short-term budget deal that would keep the government open.
We do support the short-term CR. However, that's not our first choice.
During a briefing yesterday, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders saying the administration would prefer a long-term 2-year deal. Immigration officials will release details later today about next steps for Haitians in the U.S. on temporary protected status. The Trump administration delayed the process of re-registering some of the 60,000 Haitians with the special status. GOP House Speaker Paul Ryan says DACA must be fixed to protect the dreamers.
That our leaders are meeting to discuss these things. Good faith negotiations are underway, and to push that aside and try and jeopardize funding for things like S-CHIP in our military, to me, makes no sense.
In a Capitol briefing yesterday, Ryan again cited the need for a long-term solution. The president traveling to southwestern Pennsylvania to hail the Republican tax cuts that he signed. Trump will appear with a Republican nominee for a Pittsburgh area House seat. Timeline shows Hawaii officials botched not once but twice efforts to immediately correct a false missile alert over the weekend, taking more than 20 minutes to contact federal authorities and then trying to contact federal authorities for approval they did not need, then taking another 15 minutes to cancel that alert that was sent to all mobile devices statewide. The Archdiocese of Chicago will be closing 5 Catholic schools at the end of the year, citing declining enrollment and financial difficulties. Health officials are warning people about a second confirmed case of the measles at O'Hare. 2 men are dead following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. No arrests have been made. And the mother of Brian Urlacher's 12-year-old son is suing over allegations former Bears linebacker conspired to portray her as a murderer. Warriors come to life in the third quarter and struggled to put away the Bulls, but did so 119-112 at the United Center. Last night in college hoops, Northwestern fell to number 22 Ohio State. In the Valley, Loyola topped SIU. The news, a service of TrueCar. Looking to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for it too. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says talk of a coup is no laughing matter.
I want you to consider the seriousness of an attempt at a coup. This isn't funny. This isn't lighthearted. This shouldn't be just gossip. Watching people attempt to take down a presidency is starting to really get my attention.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Still taking your child's temperature the way it was done decades ago? Upgrade to the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, available at fine retailers everywhere. Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound I-80 traffic is stop and go from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to before Parker Road. This is due to a crash before Parker, blocking 2 left lanes. The Edens, Kennedy, looking good. The Eisenhower, too. On the inbound side of the Stevenson, it's a little congested approaching Kedzie. Inbound Ryan slow from 95th to 79th. Cermak to the Burn Circle, 18 minutes. 95th to downtown, outbound 16. Road work at 87th in the 3 left lanes. Bishop Ford, just a brief tap of the brakes, approach Verge. Traffic, service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple. You can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, and MLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny, breezy, not as cold, 32 for a high temp. Currently 17 at O'Hare, 18 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Tax Relief Inc. Honest, dependable, local. TaxReliefInc.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Here's my immigration reform. Build the wall, lock up the border. Period. Next, we'll talk about it when freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, we were talking about Jeff Flake's speech, and I made a comment about Trump having kind of a surface skimming knowledge of history, public policy, at least the intricacies of it.
Let me guess, you got some pushback.
Yeah. There are some people you can't say anything, no matter how reflective of the evidence it is, that is critical of Trump. Text from 312, how do you know the depth of Trump's history knowledge? Your snobby punk side was on display. My snobby punk side is always bubbling just below the surface, so you should know that.
It never really goes away.
Be put on notice. Yeah, so don't be surprised when it rears itself. But
well, the White House responded to Jeff Flake. Do you want to hear?
Well, can I just comment on this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Trump is a combination of David McCullough and Thucydides. Okay, I mean, and by the way, was a Thucydides reference my snobby punk side on display? Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes, it
Common
was.
spelling?
I mean, Trump is a man without a flaw. He is immaculate. He knows everything. He sees I mean,
a lot of people think he's the second coming.
I mean, honestly, get a grip. Read anything Trump has written over the last 30 years. Listen to anything he said over the last 30 months. This is not a guy who is holding forth with great historical context on things. You know what he knows? He knows about politics and policy from being a consumer of DC press corps news for his adult life. And that gives him some basis so he can make references to Reagan off the cuff and so on and so forth. He has some, and he's lived a life, there's no question, so he has some basis. But don't give me this silliness that he's some kind of public intellectual or has academic knowledge of history. He doesn't. And I'm not saying
to read,
I'm not saying it's I think it would be nice. I'm not saying it's a prerequisite. I'm not saying he can't be a good president in spite of that. But can we just stop with the silliness that he's omniscient and omnipotent and he's omnipresent? I'll give you that, Omni. So the White House responded.
Yeah, Sarah Sanders. I don't even know if they watched, but they knew what he was saying.
I found it quite interesting that he is coming out to attack this president, considering he's one that was recently defending an actually oppressive regime. He went to Cuba a few weeks ago and served as a mouthpiece for the oppressive Cuban government.
Ooh.
He's not criticizing the president because he's against oppression. He's criticizing the president because he has terrible poll numbers. And he is, I think, looking for some attention. I think it's unfortunate. And certainly, I think our position here at the White House is that we welcome access to the media every day. I'm standing right here taking questions. The president does so regularly, and to act as if we're anything but open to that back and forth exchange is utterly ridiculous.
Well, I think that's a fair statement from Sanders. And, and Jeff Flake kind of walked himself into some corners in his remarks, too. It wasn't just about Trump. He wanted to make these grand statements of principle about a free society such as this one.
No politician will ever get us or tell us what the truth is and what it is not. And anyone who presumes to try to attack or manipulate the press for his own purposes should be made to realize his mistake and to be held to account.
Yeah, well, Senator, you're a politician, aren't you telling us what the truth is? And when it comes to manipulating the press, can you attempt to manipulate the press as much through an encomium like you delivered on the Senate floor as you can through invective, as Trump does? I mean, his shining on the press for 14 minutes yesterday, is that an attempt to manipulate coverage of Jeff Flake? Is that an attempt to advance the Jeff Flake brand? Is that manipulation? So by Jeff Flake's own standard, I'd suggest he fails. And then, he of course brought up the Russian collusion matter.
We know the attacks orchestrated by the Russian government during the election were real. They constitute a grave threat to both American sovereignty and to our national security. It is in the interest of every American to get to the bottom of this matter, wherever the investigation leads.
Yeah, he's essentially said that Trump calls this Russia interference a hoax. Kind of adopting the line of the left that he's some kind of Manchurian candidate for Putin. That when he talks about Russia and Russian collusion, he's just said explicitly there was no collusion. He's criticized aspects of the investigation, not the fact that it exists. He didn't want Jeff Sessions to recuse himself. That's the same thing as saying he's indifferent to Russia's meddling or trying to manipulate elections in this country. Those are two very different things. There's a lot of people that have been critical of the investigation, legitimately so, because there's a lot to be critical about. That's not the same thing as saying that Russia is a friend. So that's a little bit of, political propaganda that he accuses the president of, as far as I'm concerned. And then, as if comparing him to Stalin wasn't off the rails, and then he starts to invoke the fake news thing, and he references Rodrigo Duterte in the Philippines and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and Bashar al-Assad, is the Syrian strongman, of course, talking about them complaining about lies and them demonizing the press, and he puts Trump in their category. Well, that's just absurd. I mean, it's just absurd. Come on. Assad murders his own people. Duterte, who's kind of like a one-man vigilante squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what's going on in Venezuela, from Chavez to his ideological successor, Maduro, and Trump, and Stalin, of course, the most, arguably the greatest murderer in the 20th century, and Trump is in this category. I mean, Jeff Flake, come on.
It's so ridiculous. That's why I couldn't stomach it. I mean, honestly. And he wasn't even effective in the way he was speaking. It was just like, it felt like empty words,
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next.
Ellen Pompeo, you know her from Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
She's finally gotten what she deserves, $20 million.
Oh, we'll tell you why. But first, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 32 degrees. We're at 21 right now at O'Hare. And then Friday, oh yeah, partly sunny, breezy, milder, a high of 40 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. 8094 eastbound at Ripley. There's a crash just reported. I-80 eastbound. We're seeing delays from 355 to Fort Parker. Collision there, still blocking two left lanes. Edens is fine. Kennedy as well. Eisenhower getting a little congestion now. Approaching Des Plaines Avenue. Inbound Stevenson, there's a 2-minute delay. Harlem to Pulaski. Inbound Ryan, looking at 18 minutes. 95th to downtown. Outbound 16. Roadwork at 87th and the 3 left lanes. Should be wrapping up soon. Inbound Bishop Fort, a 5-minute delay. Cottage Grove to the merge. Tollways are looking good at this hour. CTA Blue Line has some residual delays on the Forest Park-bound side after there was a door problem at Harlem. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to do what I did and call David Hochberg and the Team Hochberg Mortgage Experts at Pro Mortgage to get approved for a mortgage before speaking with a realtor. Gloria, recently divorced mother of 2, secured a Team Hochberg loan approval before purchasing a home. Gloria's contract was accepted over 3 other buyers because Gloria's contract was the only contract with a Team Hochberg loan approval, which enabled her to close within 10 business days of signing that contract. Gloria also did a Permaseal sewer inspection, which Team Hochberg issued a credit for at the closing, and found a blocked sewer line the seller had to correct. To exponentially increase your chances of purchasing a home, secure a Team Hochberg loan approval before you go out to buy a house. Here's what you do. Call David and Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. David and Team Hochberg helped me, Gloria, and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't pick up the phone and call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 NMLS 19186.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I shopped the many highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-471-9807. That's 800-471-9807. 800-471-9807. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
If I'm being honest, I like any tequila before 10 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, it's that time of year again. When it's cold here, there's snow on the ground, ice. It's awful, but it's warm and sunny in Riviera Maya, Mexico, and there's plenty of tequila. We are heading there to Riviera Maya, Mexico in April 21st through the 28th, Saturday to Saturday. We're heading there with Apple Vacations, and you're invited to come along with us. We're staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach, Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. 9 gourmet restaurants. It's right on the beach. It's right on the beach. The resort is located right on the ocean. Serving unlimited premium drinks, tequila, 24-hour room service. It's a beautiful, unlimited luxury, adults-only resort. And you're going to want to come with us because it is a lot of fun. And the beach, Dan, is recognized as one of the world's best beaches.
I bet it's better than Montego Bay, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com/passport. The price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. Don't miss out. Enjoy a week in Riviera Maya, Mexico with us. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179 or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
True story. So I urged one of my family members to call CertaPro Painters. He didn't do it, and that painting crew had to come back 3 times to fix their awful, sloppy mistakes, even paint on the floor, if you can believe it. Well, with CertaPro Painters, you get the best in the business. The attention to detail, color selection is truly unmatched. And now is the perfect time to get the interior of your home or business painted. The lower humidity provides an ideal environment for great coverage and quick drying times. They use fine quality paints with 0 or low VOCs, very little to no odor during application. Be an early bird and cross the first item off your 2018 to-do list. It's also the perfect time to spruce up your commercial property. Remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated, so schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's CERTA with a C. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
I can't get the alarm company on the phone to save my life. My alarm's going off all the time, and I don't know why. It's driving me crazy.
Call Alarm Detection Systems. We have live reps answering phones 24/7, 365. No auto attendant. Call 630-844-6300. Give us your business and get better customer service in return. Visit adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
I own a fast food restaurant that was broken into early this morning. They tore the alarm panel right off the wall, and Alarm Detection Systems came in the same day to replace it.
Same-day service is available to all our customers. Never worry about your security system. Get to know Alarm Detection Systems. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. That's 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
5:57, a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound I-80 has been shut down near 355 due to a major wreck. All lanes are blocked now. You can exit at US 30 and east to northbound 45 to get around this closure. Maybe there for a while. Eastbound 8094 at Klein Avenue, we're seeing delays now due to a reported crash. Edens is okay. Kennedy as well. About Eisenhower, little congestion around Des Plaines Avenue. Around Stevenson, delays are from Central to Kedzie. 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. On Ryan at 18th, there's a crash in the right lane. 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 16. On Bishop Ford, there's a 5-minute delay approaching the merge. Tollways are okay. Traffic, service of Shell. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell, the Fuel Rewards program. Start saving on your very first fill and continue to save on every fill every day. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join and save 5 cents a gallon today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Dan and Amy, but first, your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mostly sunny, high 32. It will remain mainly clear through the night tonight, still breezy with a low 23. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 17 at O'Hare. The news a service of Walgreens looking to save money on Medicare Part D prescriptions. As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers copays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning. The Archdiocese of Chicago will be closing 5 Catholic schools at the end of the school year. Health officials are warning about a second confirmed case of the measles at O'Hare. Former social worker at an Elgin psychiatric hospital is accused of sexual abuse. Chicago will make a pitch for Apple's planned second headquarters. Illinois on pace to see a race for the governor that could cost over $100 million. Warriors come to life in the second half and put away the Bulls. Around college hoops last night, Northwestern fell to number 22 Ohio State. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Can they work out a deal in time? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Congress is on deadline to fund the government by tomorrow.
The real deadlines that occur this Friday are our men and women in uniform and children's health insurance in many states that will run out of money.
House Speaker Paul Ryan, but Democrats keep insisting a DACA deal be included. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the House could vote today on a short-term bill funding the government for another month. It funds a children's health insurance program, but does not include a fix for DACA, a non-negotiable for Democrats. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
It doesn't give anyone everything they want. But that's the nature of a compromise.
Meanwhile, some members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus are threatening to vote no because they say there's not enough military funding. House Republicans can only afford to lose 23 votes before needing Democratic support. Dave.
Rachel, later today, the president will go to Pennsylvania to tout the economy and record stock market. We all know he's fond of saying,
it's all fake news. It's phony stuff.
Well, last night on Twitter, he announced his fake news awards. Number 1, the New York Times columnist Paul Krugman's prediction on election night the stock market would crash and never recover. Last on his list was Russia, again saying there was no collusion.
To call the Russian matter a hoax, as the president has done so many times, is a falsehood.
That's Senator Jeff Flake, the president's biggest Republican critic in Congress.
2018 must be the year in which the truth takes a stand against power that would weaken it.
It's cold and icy in much of the South.
The reality is the road conditions are going to continue to deteriorate.
She's in North Carolina, where some areas got nearly a foot of snow. There were nearly 2,000 car crashes in that state alone. 2 were killed in a crash in Georgia. The wind chill in Atlanta is now -1. 4 died in Louisiana, including a baby inside a car that slid into a canal. Water main breaks are a problem, too.
We can't catch up with all the breaks we're having in the parish.
That's Jefferson Parish President Mike Yenny. Another 700 flights are canceled or delayed today. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On Tuesday, January 30th, President Donald Trump will deliver his first State of the Union address to Congress, to the country, and to the world. And AM 560, The Answer, is throwing a party, and you're invited. It's a taste of freedom, a State of the Union viewing party, presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com at Avante Banquets in Fox River Grove. Enjoy a 3-course meal as you watch the president's speech. Tickets start at just $56 and are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by StoreLock.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Wow, what a night. All the stars were out.
Oh, what a night.
It was exciting.
Oh, it's great. First of all, what did you wear, Dan? Was it the chiffon number?
I wore a Valentino. Very standard, very old Hollywood.
Uh-huh.
Like the great leading men of Hollywood. Your Clark Gables, your William Holdens, your Dan Proft. The 2017-2018 Fake News Awards, of course, the award show in 2018 for the 2017 contenders. And some surprises, a lot of deserving recipients, and the big winner, there's no question, took home the most hardware last night, CNN.
CNN.
Yeah, CNN took home the most statues. There's no question.
They didn't get the number one spot.
No, not number one.
Well, there are 11 awards handed out. Let's start with 11. Number 11 is Russian collusion. And at last but not least, Russian collusion is perhaps the greatest hoax perpetrated on the American people because there is no collusion.
Right. And that's so when Jeff Flake said in his effort to be Churchillian yesterday when he said this.
We know the attacks orchestrated by the Russian government during the election were real. They constitute a grave threat to both American sovereignty and to our national security. It is in the interest of every American to get to the bottom of this matter, wherever the investigation leads.
Right. So he criticized the president for calling it a hoax, but he's not calling Russia's threat to the U.S. a hoax. He is essentially saying the investigation and the charges of the D.C. press corps that he colluded with Russia to rig the election, that's the hoax. And frankly, until Jeff Flake or anybody else can produce a shard of evidence to support that contention, I say you have to give the nod to the president on this one.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Your favorite fake news award that was given out yesterday. I really have to tell you, because I heard about this from my friend in Utrecht, Holland, and it has to do with number 6. CNN falsely edited a video to make it appear President Trump defiantly overfed fish during a visit with the Japanese Prime Minister.
Yeah, the koi pond, right?
Yeah. Japanese Prime Minister actually led the way with the feeding. So they're feeding the koi fish, and then all of a sudden he dumps. The Prime Minister says just throw it all in, and then President Trump throws it all in after the Prime Minister does. But CNN cut it to make it look like President Trump was just, being just careless, doesn't care about him, just throwing all the food in.
Yeah.
And it was wrong. That
it's not about being wrong. It's about being idiosyncratically silly. What is the story here? It is just absurd. Get a grip on yourselves.
But that story made people that are, diehard Democrats even call me and say, you know what? There's something to this fake news because CNN just did this and this. It starts with a fish and it leads to realizations that are bigger than just feeding fish in a koi pond.
I tell you what,
What's your fave?
Well, I think these awards that are being handed out, they need categorization.
Oh.
Where's the categorization? You say, well, this is an award, this is an award. What's the award?
Well, it's the award of being called out by the president. I mean, this is a well put together
piece. The award for CNN for the koi pond.
Yeah.
Biggest fish story told by the press, for example. Let's come up with categorizations here. Let's help the president provide some structure to this awards gala if he's going to make this an annual event.
Okay. number 4. Then what would this be? Time magazine falsely reported that President Trump removed a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. And then Fox News jumped in and had a video, took a picture of President Trump in the Oval Office with his hand on the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. That was a lie. So is that a statue lie?
No, I would put this in the category, and there's a lot of competition here,
Yeah.
especially in 2018. There's a lot of early front runners on this. This is best Trump is a racist propaganda. That's good. That's a pretty good one.
Good.
I mean, I can you can quibble. There are others, but that's a pretty good one.
Okay, what about this one? Number 3.
By the way, just there's a predicate question here because Jeff Flake said yesterday that he mentioned this fake news awards, and he talked about how this is a spectacle that degrades the office, essentially is what he said. And it is rather surreal. It's different, there's no question. But do you like the president doing this kind of fake news awards business to highlight some of his unfair treatment? Is this a nice way to market his argument against the D.C. press corps? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And Dan, I have to tell you, when I heard he was doing fake news awards, I rolled my eyes. I thought, oh, come on, he has better things to do. But this is a well put together little award show he has via Twitter.
And you're a sucker for an award show, too.
I am. I always like to see what the ladies are wearing. Okay, here's one. CNN falsely reported that candidate Donald Trump and his son Donald J. Trump Jr. had access to hacked documents from WikiLeaks. And the headline, CNN botches dates, inaccurately reports Trump campaign had WikiLeaks sneak peek. So that was some more fake news.
Yeah, Dave Weigel tweeted that. Dave Weigel, Northwestern Grid. We talked about that story. This is...
and Dave Weigel was mentioned twice, by the way.
This is in the category of best reporting to make Trump supporters disappear.
Washington Post falsely reported that the president's massive sold-out rally in Pensacola, Florida, was empty. Dishonest reporters showed picture of empty arena hours before the crowd was allowed to start filing in.
Best reporting and I mean I got to word it. Best reporting in making Trump supporters disappear, in contending that Trump has no supporters.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of in that category.
Oh, here's
it's
a good one.
The best way to make deplorables disappear. How about?
This is a good one. Newsweek falsely reported that Polish First Lady, oh boy, Agata Kornhauser-Duda,
name assassinator,
did not shake President Trump's hand. And there's a picture of her being friendly with President Trump and shaking his hand. So Newsweek got the handshake award? Got the what?
Best reporting.
And guys, we didn't practice this at home before we did.
Best, yeah, really. the
case
categories. Well, I mean,
what would that category be under?
Yeah, I mean, it's best reporting in the category of all world leaders hate Trump.
Yeah.
Or
no, that's good.
Or Trump is embarrassing us in the global community, the international community. Yeah. There's some actual. I mean, part of these stories are interesting because they're so. The choice to even report on this in the first place, and then to have to cook the report to get the story that you want, it really does speak to the lengths that they will go to take anything that they can manipulate to cast the president in bad light. Media Research Center has done an analysis of the network news coverage of Trump in 2017. I mean, 90% is negative, and you can do 90% negative when you manufacture stories about how he's feeding koi fish and whose hand he is or is not shaking on the tarmac. When these are breaking news, CNN exclusives, you can, I guess, put together 90% negative on any individual. But there are some other stories that won awards, too, that are like substantive failures of journalism. I mean, not that those aren't, but this is like serious stuff. CNN falsely reporting FBI Director James Comey would dispute President Trump's claim that he was told he's not under investigation. And, of course, what did James Comey do in congressional testimony? He confirmed it.
Right.
And then CNN falsely reporting about the Mooch meeting with a Russian that they had to retract later because of the breakdown in their journalistic process over at CNN. So there's a couple of
My
others.
buddy Brian Ross, ABC News mentioned once, and that's because Brian
he
Ross
gone.
chokes and sends markets in a downward spiral with his false report. And his report was a bungled report on Trump and Russia. And that was a big problem. So he was suspended for a few weeks without pay.
He's not returning.
Oh, he's gone?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, so
when did
you know what he's
happen? Because he came, didn't he? He came back.
I don't think he's back. I don't know. I have to check on Ross. I thought I saw that he is like quietly been put out to pasture. But here's the thing: if he has been, this will give him time to find the real Aurora, Colorado theater shooter. The Tea Party
right,
member.
the Tea Party member.
Yeah. Number one, by the way, I mean in terms of Trump's ranking of the awards. So this is kind of your best fake news story of 2017. So you're like your best movie for achievement in fake newsery. Paul Krugman, that Marxist economist, Nobel Prize winner, over at the New York Times, reporting on the day of Trump's victory that the economy would never recover. And,
And boy, did he see what the Dow Jones closed at yesterday?
Yeah, did he see the story about Apple adding 20,000 jobs and investing, about $250 billion in the U.S. this year as a direct result of the tax cuts?
The economy has created nearly 2 million jobs and gained over $8 trillion in wealth since the president's inauguration. African American and Hispanics are enjoying the lowest unemployment rate in recorded history.
So the Nobel Prize winner in the field of economics, another award for his mantle, Paul Krugman, the best fake news story of 2017. Congratulations.
Actually, this is just
Paul Krugman.
I love it. This is effective. This works for me.
Yeah, John, and it's a good institutional memory.
Yeah,
John in Portage Park. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi. Love your show, guys. And I'd like to name the whole awards like they have the Oscars. I'd like to name it the Pravdas.
There you go.
From the old Soviet newspaper. They used to make fake news all the time.
Thanks for the call, John.
That's nice. Good job.
Although I think James O'Keefe over at Project Veritas may quibble with that because he's got the American Pravda Project or whatever they call it. Debbie in Schaumburg.
Hello.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi. I always get so nervous, Dan, when I hear your voice because you're so adorable.
I know.
Oh my God.
I get that all the time.
Wow, I can give you
cool as a cucumber till Dan says hello.
Exactly.
You had her at hello.
I just wanted to say, didn't the Democrats come up with this phrase early on, fake news? They kind of coined it to, cast a doubt on everything that was coming out. And I believe they knew crap was going to come out on Hillary, et cetera. And I just love the fact that Trump grabbed it by the neck and is shoving it down their throats. He took this phrase and made it his BIT, and they're dying over it. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thanks, Debbie. That's good. That's a good point. By the way, suggested name from Inside the House for the awards, the Fakies.
Oh,
perfect. Yeah, the Fakies. The 2017 Fakies, the annual 2017 Fakies. Debbie makes a good point too. I mean, this is being used in every direction. The left calls Fox News fake news.
Right.
The left calls, and some Republicans who don't like me in Illinois, my newspapers, we report data. Fake news.
Fake news.
If I don't like the data.
Fake news. It's just fake news.
Fake news. I mean, so this, and whether you ascribe more blame to Trump or more blame to the left, the bottom line is it's a phrase that's being used from every which direction, from every which interest. I don't really like it. I'd rather do what they did here and just go right to the purveyors of propaganda. The people who think the Koi Pond story is consistent with the responsibilities of the Fourth Estate, the great vanguard of freedom that Jeff Flake carried on about yesterday. Boy, they're really respecting the platform and the public trust in which they have, with the institution needs in order to thrive. I should say they don't necessarily have, and this is why.
I love at the end though of the fake news awards, Trump lists his accomplishments, and there are 10 pretty significant accomplishments. So you guys will tweet this out so everyone could read them.
He mentioned these in the opening monologue. He hosted the the fakies last night.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, that Tide Pod Challenge has finally been yanked from YouTube. It's been replaced with something very clever. First, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, breezy, a high of 32 degrees. And then Friday, wow, Friday is already tomorrow. We're going to have partly sunny skies and a high near 40. You can make a tea time, Dan. You could go and play some golf. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's the boss, Jim Telemonte.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Eastbound I-80 is closed right now from 30 to 355 due to a major wreck, major injuries, and investigation now ongoing. You can avoid this by getting off at 30, heading eastbound and northbound 45. This investigation may take some time. It's a nasty wreck. Eastbound 8094, seeing delays. Kennedy Avenue to Klein Avenue. There's a wreck there blocking 2 left lanes. Eden's inbound. Slow Oakton to Toohey with a crash in the left lane. 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. The Ike, 33 minutes, 390 to the Circle, outbound 30. Stevenson Heavy, First Avenue to Kedzie. It's 48 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, slow 95th to 87th, and there's a jam now from Roosevelt to before the Grand Avenue curve. It's a crash to the 3 right lanes. Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics that airs 3 p.m. Sunday on these airwaves, as well as our long-form interview series, Against the Current, My 60 Seconds of Sanity, Pat Hughes' 2-minute warnings, Heart of the Matter, our series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day. This week, the topic, as the General Assembly returns to session next week, when will the Me Too reckoning come to Springfield? And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. That's where you get a free property tax report on your home to see how the highest property taxes in the nation are decimating your home value, but you get a real contextual information that explains why things are the way they are and where your money's going and what's happening to your house in the process. And also the opportunity to download a petition to help us get the signatures necessary for an advisory question on the 2018 ballot in November that would change Illinois' property tax system to mirror Indiana's, return your home equity in the process. You can get all the property tax info at defendhomeowners.com and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
Old Man Winter is here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians.
From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
Get up and go. It's Apple Vacation's great winter event. Non-stop fun, adventure, sun-soaked beaches. Escape to your favorite tropical destination. It's all available now. Save hundreds. But hurry, the best hotels and prices won't last. 3 nights in Riviera Maya at Grand Serenus Riviera Maya start for only $749. Or make it 3 nights in Punta Cana at Bavaro Princess All Suites Resort Spa and Casino, starting from just $749. Both escapes include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carrie Travel Express at 847-639-3300 or visit carrietravelexpress.com to book your trip today. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select exclusive vacation flights from O'Hare to Cancun on Frontier Airlines starting January 29th or to Punta Cana on Frontier Airlines starting January 30th and include taxes and fees including September 11th security fee. Some flights are operated by other airlines. Baggage charges apply. See applevacations.com. Prices subject to availability and change. Restrictions apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, Grey's Anatomy. You watch the show?
I have one. Dr. McDreamy was on. Patrick Dempsey.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Oh, he's hot. He's got those piercing blue eyes.
Oh, my God.
That easy way about him on screen.
I'm all aflutter just even thinking about him. It's no question. Ellen Pompeo gave a rather colorful, Trumpian almost, interview to The Hollywood Reporter in terms of her freewheeling use of profanity. Not very ladylike.
All right.
Is that sexist to say? Not very ladylike to use profanity?
Yeah, it's very sexist.
Is it? No, I apologize then. She is getting $20 million to continue Grey's Anatomy. She's the highest paid actress on television now. And she's finally getting what she deserves, she says. $20 million a year.
Well, her character is the main character.
I'll take your word for it. I mean, I know who she is from.
Anatomy, and the character is Meredith Anatomy.
Meredith Anatomy?
No. I told you words are hard today.
Meredith Anatomy. Boy, they're very creative with that show in terms of the character names.
No, her name, I'm sorry.
Dr. Coxtoson? Is that her name?
No, the show's called Grey's Anatomy, and she's Meredith Grey.
Oh,
excuse me.
I got you.
So basically, the show's she's the star, and it's what happens to her.
Is she also the Grey in Shades of Grey? 50 Shades of Grey?
She stars in that too.
I know her from. I mean, I've seen her before. Like if she was the.
What was she? I can't.
She was the Luke Wilson love interest in Old School, right? Wow.
Yeah, she was.
Wow. So she's $20 million a year. She says to the Hollywood Reporter, "I'm 48 now, so I've finally gotten over the place where I'm okay. I've finally gotten to the place, I should say, where I'm okay asking for what I deserve, which is something that comes only with age, because I'm not the most relevant actress out there. I know that's the industry perception because I've been in this character for 14 years. But the truth is, anybody can be good on a show a season or two. Can you be good 14 years later? Now that's a effing skill. Oh boy!
Wow.
See, I told you about Trumpian.
Well, she didn't like Patrick Dempsey because they always used him as leverage against her. Because they'd always, when it was time for contract negotiation, they'd always remind her, well, we don't really need you because we have Patrick. And they did that apparently for years and years.
Right. Yeah. And so this is where we're getting to, like, the disparity in pay. And listen to her characterization of Hollywood. I'm not necessarily perceived as successful either, but a 24-year-old actress with a few big movies is, even though she's probably being paid blank badly, certainly less than her male co-star and probably with no back end. And they're going to pimp her out until she's 33 or 34, and then she's out like yesterday's trash. And then what does she have to take care of herself? These poor girls have no real money, and the studio is making a fortune and parading them like ponies on a red carpet. I mean, Faye Dunaway is driving an effing Prius today. Well, that is wrong. But I wonder if that's an environmental choice,
Yeah,
like a statement choice rather than a financial choice. But Faye Dunaway should not be in a Prius. She should be in a sleek,
I saw Cokie Roberts
upper
in a Prius
crust car. Yeah, well, we're talking about Faye Dunaway.
Okay, well, Faye Dunaway, Cokie Roberts.
Faye Dunaway, man.
Kind of the same, but just a little different.
That's such a bummer. So she said Faye Dunaway driving.
Does she have a driver who drives her?
No,
it
doesn't matter. Faye Dunaway is one of the.
But should she be in a?
She's an
Bentley?
elegant leading lady. She should be. Yes, exactly.
Maybe a used minivan, a Chrysler 2008.
I don't like to think of Faye Dunaway as like some kind of broken down old like Sunset Boulevard, like Gloria, like a broken down old. I don't. Faye Dunaway. All right, so Faye Dunaway's in a Prius apparently.
Yes.
Now, there's nothing wrong with a Prius. Well, I disagree, Miss Pompeo. But my point is, she had no financial power. If we're going to invoke change, that has to be a part of it. So it's interesting again. So we have the beneficiaries and purveyors of Hollywood culture lamenting it like they're oppressed.
Well, look at Michelle Williams and Mark Wahlberg. They had to reshoot those scenes because Kevin Spacey got thrown out of the movie.
Yeah.
What's the name of that movie? Come on.
I don't know.
It's
not out yet.
One of those movies.
Yeah,
that movie. And
thank you, Gene Shalit.
Well, thank you. And he received $1.5 million, and she got $1,000. I mean, how does that happen?
Well,
and they have the same agent. That's what's so weird.
Yeah, but
because that agent knew that he was getting 1.5, she's getting 1,000.
Well, Mark Wahlberg wanted to negotiate for, his market value compensation to reshoot the scenes, and she was like, I just felt like I should reshoot them because of what happened. I felt bad about what happened.
Well, yeah.
So,
but honey, stand up for yourself then.
Well,
next time.
But she's allowed to make that decision.
Yeah.
That it was. Hey, Michelle, I want you to know we're paying Mark $1.5 million.
Did they tell her
Would
that,
you
though?
do it for $1,000? No, but she didn't. I mean, that was her choice to say, I don't care. Just pay me, daily scale, and I'm fine with it. That was her choice. It wasn't imposed upon her. She didn't protest. She didn't ask for $1.5 million and settle for $1,000, as it's kind of being reported.
But that's a huge difference in pay $1.5 million and $1,000. The good news is, though, Mark Wahlberg, and this is really the only thing he could have done in this day and age, he's donating that $1.5 million. He's not even keeping $1,000 for himself to the Time's Up movement.
Yeah, I mean,
and
right.
what is that? Why?
So it's thuggery. So why is that the only good thing to come out of it? If he negotiated for $1.5 million, he got $1.5 million. What's wrong with that?
I'm saying she's a fool. She should stand up for herself. And demand the same money as her male counterpart because they shot the same number of scenes.
Okay. I mean, you're just not going to respond to what I'm saying, so
No.
I don't know what to say about that.
No, it's Michelle Williams' fault. It is.
Well, but maybe there's not fault. If I don't demand the same money as somebody else for doing something similar, am I at fault? Maybe I just think this is fine. I'm fine with this. Can you be fine with something that is less than somebody else's? Or is everything in relation to somebody else? Somebody's getting someone over on me. I mean, the larger point is here, all of these people, they're the Praetorian Guard of the cultural Marxists, and they don't like how cultural Marxism works out in Hollywood, whether it's these sexual predators or the capitalist construct of Hollywood from which Ellen Pompeo can make $20 million a year. They don't believe in theory what they do in practice. Mm-hmm. They're capitalists in practice, and they're socialists in theory. They're living Caligula in practice, and they lament about sexual misconduct. I mean, just the inconsistencies of it. All this is like this mirror test that these people need to do. Connect some dots.
The name of the movie is All the Money in the World.
Ironically.
Oh. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Is spanking your kids bad? Is it like spanking an adult? Oh, boy. 6:36.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Keep bringing the Fletch references, by the way, all morning long. Keep bringing Fletch. 19 degrees, clear skies. Winds west-southwest at 13. And this morning, The fate of DACA recipients, those undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children, remains a sticking point in talks to keep the government funded. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
I'm looking for something that President Trump supports, and he's not yet indicated what measure he's willing to sign.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said this morning frustrated Democrats worry that if an immigration fix is delayed yet again, lawmakers will begin work all over on DACA recipients. Republican leaders in the House scheduling a vote later today on short-term funding to avoid that government shutdown on Friday night. Millions in the Deep South trying to weather through a winter storm that's dropped temperatures to bone-chilling lows and hammered the region with snow and ice. In Europe, flights are canceled across West Europe, especially in the Netherlands, when a powerful winter storm hit that region. It's bearing down on France and headed toward Germany later today. House Intelligence Committee is planning to bring back former top Trump White House strategist Steve Bannon for more questions. The California couple accused of keeping their 13 children captive will be in court later today. That pair, David and Louise Turpin, were arrested Sunday. Look who's campaigning for governor in Ohio this morning. Dennis Kucinich launching his campaign for governor of Ohio at a rally yesterday. Here in Chicago, the Archdiocese closing 5 Catholic schools at the end of the year, citing declining enrollment and financial difficulties. Health officials warning about a second confirmed case of the measles at O'Hare. The Illinois Department of Public Health says a person infected with that contagious disease arrived January 9th at Terminal 5 and may have exposed others. 2 men are dead following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. No arrests have been made. The first deadly shooting in Chicago in just about 1 week. Warriors over the Bulls last night, 119-112. Cubs keep a key piece of their bullpen. According to multiple reports, they've re-signed lefty Brian Dunsing to a 2-year contract. The news, a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 3030. 6:35. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager says vote on issues, not people.
Policies run countries, not personal kindness. Among my friends, I only want the kind and fine and good. For those who make my policy, I would prefer that they be all those things, but they don't mean a damn thing. Why is this not obvious to everybody?
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer backed by medical professionals everywhere.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right, credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
6:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. We are seeing delays in North Riverside this morning. Rail crossing gates on 1st Avenue for Cermak. Your 26 for malfunctioning. Shorewood eastbound Jefferson is closed at I-55 with a crash. Eastbound I-80 jammed from 30 to 355, where now the right lane is open after a crash which had the roadway blocked entirely. Eastbound 8094 stop and go Kennedy to Climb with a crash in the 2 left lanes. Eden's heavy golf to Tui. Left lane crash there. 29 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. Eisenhower's 43 minutes from 390 to Circle, outbound 33. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 17 with a car fire at the Stevenson of the right lane. Northbound Tri-State jammed. Cermak before the Grand Avenue curve. 3 right lanes are blocked. Collision. Traffic Service Walgreens, looking to save money on your Medicare Part B prescriptions. As a preferred pharmacy, Walgreens offers copays as low as $0 on Tier 1 generics on select plans. Switch your prescriptions and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny and breezy, not as cold. High 32. Currently 19. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldstone Financial, helping you become financially independent at goldstonefinancialgroup.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Spank your kids. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. Amy, the reason I don't read local columnists in Chicago, other than Cass and McQuarrie, can be summed up in one name.
What?
Heidi Stevens.
Really?
Heidi Stevens is the perfect representative of the lobotomized, sentimentalist columnist in the Chicago Press Corps, so many in the D.C. Press Corps, who nary has a consistent intellectual moment and needs to offer much thought to what she has to say. It's embarrassing, frankly, that the Tribune would print her, but, I mean, look at the Tribune editorial board. Her recent piece, she's a lifestyle expert, by the way.
Oh, okay.
How do you become a lifestyle expert?
I don't know. I don't know how you get that on your resume.
I'd like to know.
Do you want to be the lifestyle correspondent here on AM 560?
I would.
Okay. You could be the fashion guru, but
I don't know
we
if
don't know
I'm
how to go about
qualified.
it. Yeah, I
don't know if I'm qualified. She goes after pop singer Kelly Clarkson. Heidi Stevens does. Because Kelly Clarkson said that she spanks her children. Here's Heidi Stevens. Here's the quality of the argument you get from the lobotomized sentimentalist, the sophisticated barbarian that is splashed on the pages of daily newspapers in Chicago or in suburbs around the country. Here's where we play the swap the person getting hit. Let's say you're talking to a friend, relative, neighbor, acquaintance from church, any grown-up really, and you get on the topic of marriage. Let's say you're exchanging anecdotes about the ups and downs, the frustrations, the disagreements that occur when you're sharing a home and a life with a spouse. And let's say the grown-up tells you, I just slap my wife when she's really upsetting me. Or when I really want to teach my husband a lesson, I hit him. I would find a lot wrong with that. I think most of us would. No amount of domestic violence is socially acceptable. We frown on all of it. Why on earth should we accept a lower bar for children? I'm frankly astounded that it's not outlawed in the United States. Is she right? Should spanking be outlawed in the United States? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line, Amy.
Well, since I've had some dealings with family court, I know that they absolutely frown upon ever touching your children, but also, too, the government gets involved in the way you speak to your children. A family court judge.
That's good news.
Well, yeah.
That's great news.
No, that
because the government does a hell of a job raising kids.
Oh, don't they though? That if you swear, if your kid swears at you, you cannot swear back. That you absolutely have to be, as they say, the adult in the room and not engage them. Walk away, they say, and come back when cooler heads would prevail. It's unbelievable how much they can control our kids.
Lori Higgins wrote about this at Illinois Family Institute website, and she presents a very good point the obvious one to undermine Heidi Stevens' preposterous argument, and that's adults aren't children, and children aren't adults. And she makes the point. Let's play out Heidi Stevens' little hypothetical there. What if the wife or the husband said, I just send my wife to the corner for a timeout when she's really upsetting me? Is that better? Right? I mean, the hypothetical is, I just slap my wife when she's really upsetting me. Oh, okay, so it's hitting that's the problem. I just tell my wife to go to the corner and take a timeout when she's really upsetting me. Would anybody stand for that? Well, that's what we do with children.
Yeah.
So do you see how the analogy fails? You see how stupid Heidi Stevens is? Oh, and also devoid of any intellectual heft. Children are not adults, and adults aren't children. And just that one insertion into Heidi Stevens' hypothetical should illustrate that. Of course, we wouldn't. Nobody would do that. So why the comparison? A rap on the rear for doing something bad, that should be outlawed?
I always think it's the parent's business. I mean, as long as you're not physically hurting them, meaning you leave it a bruise or a tearing of the skin, but why can't? I mean, we all got smacked when
I was growing up.
Yeah, tell me about when you were growing
when I was growing
up. Did you get the belt?
I said, Dad, give me the belt. Let me do it myself.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah, because I'm the self-flagellating type of guy. I'm harder on myself. I'll take care of this. I got it.
You go on with your busy day.
But the idea of, obviously we're not talking about abusing people. We got into this whole discussion a couple years ago with the Adrian Peterson case, using a switch on your kids.
Well, he made his kid go get the switch, which is a branch. They had to pick it out themselves, and then, he smacked his 4-year-old.
Yeah.
On the buttocks.
Right. So
which is the place where it happened.
Physical injury is not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about behavioral conditioning, essentially.
But didn't it work with a whole generation of us? I mean, really. Once you get the belt once, you don't get the belt again because you learn your lesson.
How's it work?
Kids these days, I mean, honestly.
How's it work?
If these kids had to go to war for us, we're screwed.
Well,
because we
not all of
pander
them.
to their every need. Well, most of them.
Yeah, well, that's,
I mean, if you look at them wrong, then they think that they could call the police if you argue with them or maybe swear at them. Don't touch them. But I know somebody who they called the cops on because a 14-year-old got in a fight with his mom and the cops came. The Chicago police.
Like a verbal fight, you mean?
Yeah. Oh,
and
nothing physical. And they
right.
came. For that?
Well,
that's an abuse of power.
Well, this is where you go down. This is the road you go down with this sort of, parent-friend helicopter parent culture that Heidi Stevens wants to embrace. I'm not your friend. As a parent.
Oh, I know one kid, he calls his dad dude. I'm like, that dude? Are you kidding me? No one is ever calling me that or a spouse that. Dude, that's your father. Show some respect. Ugh. Mad. Why do you make me mad?
You go, I mean, Heidi Stevens, you go to a cocktail party and your husband says something inappropriate or somebody takes offense to something he says. Then you bring him back the next day and you say, now, do you have something to say to the Joneses about last night?
And about your behavior?
Yeah, you do the forced apology. You want to infantilize them? This goes back to what Clarence Thomas said about his advice for people that come to him for marital advice. He says, remember, you're marrying an adult, right? Treat them like an adult. You're marrying an adult. And
what was that
your
sign that was in his office?
Don't make fun of your wife's decisions. You were one of them.
Right.
It's pretty good.
That's a great
but so the mom and the dad are adults,
right?
And Sally and Joey are not.
Right. And by the way, they can't decide where they want to live until they're 18. Just in case any of you are going through that right now. Well, they're kids, and kids don't get to decide where they live.
Well, I understand,
because
but
they're kids.
I'm talking about disciplining.
I know,
here,
disciplining. I know. I went off. I had a vent.
Okay.
This is very cathartic, Dan. Let's take it to the phone.
Okay, we'll just leave that there. Mo in Chicago. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I can only imagine what else this woman thinks about handling little kids. Just that whole interaction, that moment in time when you're grabbing them, putting them over your leg or whatnot, that whole experience for the child itself freaks them out. They get scared and they get what's going on. You just got to give them a tap or two. You can just put your hand on them and they start screaming and yelling like, oh, this is the end of the world. But at the end of the day, you didn't even really spank them. It's just that whole interaction and movement, telling them you're going to spank them is what scares them enough to understand, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Telling the kid to go walk over there for 5 minutes and look at the wall, after about the fourth or fifth time, they just look at you like, oh, okay, now what?
Yeah. And the wife does the same thing. Yeah. Thanks, Mo. Appreciate that. All right, Bob in Waukegan knows how to handle this.
Yeah, you were talking about how the state takes care of kids. Well, I had 4 kids, and one of them was particularly cantankerous. It was my second son, and he would always, raise the hair on my back, as it were. And I'm a house painter, so I would grab 3 Home Depot sticks for the 5-gallon buckets, and I taped them together, and that was my SWAT stick. And I would pull it out whenever they were acting up, and I'd say, you're going to get a couple of these if you don't straighten up. I think I only had to use it once, but my second son, he would always test the limits, so I would pull a stick out, and I'd say, you know what, you keep that up, you're going to get a couple of these. And he would look at me and go, I'm going to call the police and turn you in. And I said, I've got the number memorized. I said, I'll call them for you. And I said, they can come and pick you up. And I said, you think you got it bad in this household? I said, wait till DCFS picks you up and throws you in a house where nobody cares about you. He always straightened up.
Thanks for the call, Bob.
I mean, they don't realize that if they're taken away, if they call the cops, they could be taken away into, foster care and be separated from their siblings.
So is there something important about discipline, and even sometimes painful discipline, shaming discipline, that is with respect to behavior modification? Or is it just about making sure Junior is always comfortable and always positively and reinforced regardless of what he does?
Life is hard, and the sooner they learn that, the better.
Dan in Libertyville.
Hello, I had a similar experience with one of my kids who as much as told me, if you so much as touch me or hit me, spank me, I'm going to call the police. And after a couple of times of this, I said, you know what? Let's call them. And I called the police, and I had them come out, and I said, look, I got a problem with this child. Your laws tell me I can't spank them so much as even touch a hair on their head. So you tell me, what are we going to do with this child who's going out and 1 o'clock in the morning and tells me I can't stop him? Well, they signed a complaint against him for
breaking
being
curfew
out after dark. I forget the heck the name of the word
breaking
is,
curfew.
and he had to go to breaking curfew. Thank you. He had to go to teen court. Lake County has a teen court where they preside over it. 3 times of having to go to that and face these people and write letters and have a schedule of the things he's going to do. And the fear that if he went back out and the cops caught him, he would actually go to juvenile detention center. It was a really good wake-up call. I didn't have to touch him. I didn't have to have the frustration of it all. They dealt with it. So I give Lake County a lot of credit for having this avenue available to parents. And I say to any parent who has a child who's throwing this in your face, take advantage of it.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dan. And your son's lucky you came back to pick him up.
The other thing is, hand him some boxes, get a U-Haul out front. It's like, all right, bye-bye.
You just leave him. You just leave him at the front of a fire station, like I was left.
But they can't be in
their
their teens.
We're.
That's the problem. You can't do the abandoned baby.
Well,
if they're 14, unless you put a passy in them and wrap them in a diaper.
You got to make a choice early on. John and Sheridan.
Yeah, I wanted to address the decision that Ellen Pompeo was not unladylike. It was sexist to say she was unladylike. I would say that would be ungentlemanly behavior, and I don't consider that to be sexist.
All right. Thanks, John. Appreciate it in terms of using profanity. Randy and Elkhorn.
Yeah, here's how I punish my children. If you want to throw me in jail for mental abuse, go right ahead. But I just say, hey, give me your phones.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Thanks, Randy. And by the way, if this is what we're going to start doing is throwing parents in jail over mental abuse, like Randy taking away their smartphone or somebody rapping their kid on the butt because he's behaving badly, we're going to have to build a lot more jails.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Can the Trump rally continue? The travel industry wants you to plan your vacation early. Those stories and more next.
Imagine a politician saying this today. I have wondered at times what the Ten Commandments would have looked like if Moses had run them through the U.S. Congress. That's a quote from Ronald Reagan. He showed us through his life, his faith, and with his words that Judeo-Christian values and principles matter. You can help spread the legacy of Ronald Reagan, and you can do it by getting a Reagan email address. Right now, if you have a Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, or other big tech company email address, you help them market their service with every email you send. In return, they can scan your emails and target you with unwanted advertising. Thanks to our sponsor, ReaganPrivacy.com, you can instead share the Reagan name with every email you send, and they won't scan your emails, they'll leave you alone. Get an email address you'll be proud to own at ReaganPrivacy.com. Your very own personal private email address is available to you at ReaganPrivacy.com. Get your Reagan email address now at ReaganPrivacy.com.
Investors are hoping the markets can build on yesterday's historic close, with the Dow finishing above 26,000. This rally is thanks in large part due to solid economic growth and the optimism surrounding President Trump's tax reform. Economic reports out today include housing starts, jobless claims, and the Philadelphia Fed Business Outlook Survey. A survey by the World Economic Forum finds that more than 9 in 10 experts are worried about worsening economic or political confrontation between world powers. The report notes that a global economic rebound can help solve some problems. And the travel industry is trying to persuade Americans to use January 30th as a day to schedule their vacations for the year. The campaign's called the National Plan for Vacation Day. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Year after every new year, you make the same resolutions for yourself, hoping that one of these times they just might stick. You know, the whole new year, new you thing. You're going to lose weight, quit smoking, eat better, find the love of your life. Well, best of luck to you. How about a resolution that can really happen? One for your business's computer and IT network. It's a goal that can be accomplished and realized instantly with the help of Turnkey IT. 2018 is poised for growth. You can't afford to let your business become sidetracked by poor IT assistance or dated computer hardware or software. Remember, in the changing world of IT, what you upgraded a few years ago may not cut it in the new year. One of the biggest parts of your business infrastructure is your IT network, and if that's not right, the impact can cost you a lot of money. Make your resolution today. Be ready to handle the growth expected in 2018 with your business backbone supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritzonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, right. Tim Carney, senior political columnist for the Washington Examiner, will join us to talk government shutdown theater at 7:07.
But first, let's go into that newsroom and catch up on the latest from here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
After a full update from Fox News, Dan and Amy will have reports on 2 killed in a Southside shooting. Chicago pitching for a second Apple headquarters. Immigrants' rights leaders rallying here in Chicago overnight. The Archdiocese of Chicago closing 5 Catholic schools. We'll tell you where. Warriors beat the Bulls last night, and a second confirmed case of measles crosses through O'Hare. Mostly sunny, breezy, not as cold in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Can Congress keep the government from shutting down? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Tomorrow's deadline is approaching.
The challenge for House Speaker Paul Ryan and GOP leaders is to keep Republicans on board and pass a short-term spending bill potentially without Democrats.
I think cool heads hopefully will prevail on this thing.
But any spending plan that clears the House would need votes from several Senate Democrats. Support Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says he doesn't see.
The revulsion towards that bill was broad and strong.
Democrats are demanding protections for young immigrants brought to the country illegally as children. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Now, the chief of staff at the White House, John Kelly, says President Trump has evolved.
He's very definitely changed his attitude towards the DACA issue and even the wall.
But the president tweeted this morning, "The wall is the wall. It has never changed or evolved from the first day I conceived of it." Steve Bannon will be questioned on Capitol Hill 2 days after the president's ex-chief strategist was not so cooperative in the Russia probe. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave Bannon's going for the House Intelligence Committee again. This could be a rerun of Tuesday's hours-long session, during which Bannon clammed up, citing executive privilege as he refused to answer questions. Republicans and Democrats questioned that strategy, noting that executive privilege would not cover the campaign or the transition period. Meanwhile, Bannon has worked out a deal with the special counsel's office to answer questions, allowing him to escape the prospect of a grand jury under subpoena. Dave.
Rachel, one of the 4 law enforcement officers shot in South Carolina early Tuesday has died. York County Detective Michael Doty. They were all shot while tracking down a suspect who had fled a domestic violence call. That gunman was also shot and wounded. People are urged to stay off the roads in parts of the glazed-over South.
Still had black ice. You saw people fishtailing everywhere.
Jefferson, Louisiana Parish President Mike Yenny. 4 people were killed in that state, including a baby in a car that slid into a canal. Others were killed in West Virginia and Georgia. Tens of thousands lost power in North Carolina. Some areas got a foot of snow. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
19 degrees this morning. Winds west out of the west-southwest at 13 miles an hour, giving us a wind chill of 0 this morning. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. The Archdiocese of Chicago shutting down 5 Catholic schools by the end of the year in Deerfield, River Grove, Palos Heights, Chicago Ridge, and St. Michael's School on Chicago's south side. All have declining enrollment and financial difficulties. Health officials warning people about a second confirmed case of measles at O'Hare. The Illinois Department of Public Health says a person infected arrived January 9 at Terminal 5. University of Illinois infectious disease expert Dr. Susan Bleasdale talks more about the ailment and how it will show up, perhaps, in your house.
They're in the process of figuring out who was next to this person on the plane. People may not show symptoms until the end of the month or the very beginning of February.
This case is not related to another passenger who arrived with the measles from an international flight on January 10th. Former social worker at an Elgin psychiatric hospital is accused of sexual abuse. A former patient filed suit against the Elgin Mental Health Center. Mark Owens claims Christy Lenhart forced him to have sex with her during his time at the hospital. Two are dead following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. Police say the pair sitting in a vehicle early this morning near Marquette and Evans when someone in another car shot them. Chicago making a pitch for Apple's planned second headquarters. The tech giant announcing plans yesterday to create, they say, over 20,000 new jobs, and Mayor Emanuel is on board.
I think companies are realizing where they are is not a long-term strategy, and Chicago, I think, has a lot to offer.
The location of that new headquarters announced later this year. Chicago sports, Warriors put away the Bulls late, 119-112 at the United Center. The news a service of Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. Now get up to $120 off select HP OfficeJet Pro printers as HP celebrates 30 years of helping small businesses succeed. Ends 120. Restrictions may apply. See Staples.com for details. Staples, it's pro time. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
President Trump will deliver his first State of the Union address on Tuesday, January 30th. And to mark the occasion, AM 560 The Answer is throwing a party. It's a taste of freedom, a State of the Union viewing party presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com at Avante Banquets in Fox River Grove. Enjoy a 3-course meal as you watch the speech with fellow AM 560 listeners. Tickets are on sale now for just $56 at 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by StoreLock.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Old Man Winter is here, and you'll need a heating and cooling company you know you can depend on. Look no further. That company is the original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling. They're not one of those massive impersonal companies with inexperienced technicians and subcontractors. Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling sends only their own highly skilled technicians. From service to installation and everything in between, their work quality and customer service is the best. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling keeps homes and businesses comfy and warm. Call Carrie at 847-545-1700 or visit arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. Mention AM 560 and receive 20% off your first service call. That's Carrie at 847-545-1700 or online at arlingtonheightsheatingandcooling.com. The original Arlington Heights Heating and Cooling, not the biggest, just the best.
7:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Metro has delays on the BNSF line. There's a train stopped at Westmont due to mechanical failure. Eden's inbound heavy Oakton to the junction. 29 minutes is the drive time from Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 22. Kennedy, 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 19 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 14 minutes to Montrose, 27 to the airport. About Eisenhower, delays are from Mannheim to Austin. 46 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 33. On Stevenson at First Avenue, got a crash in the two left lanes. It is an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. An hour from the Tri-State, outbound 36 minutes to 3:55. Inbound Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 18. Bishop Ford, 33 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Northbound Tri-State delays, 95th to 87th, and Archer to the Mylon Bridge. That's jammed from the Stevenson to the Grand Avenue curve after a crash. It says the Reagan Tollway backed up. Delays are from Naperville Road to 355 and 83 to the Tri-State. Eastbound I-80 is a mess. Gallagher to 355, where a crash blocks two left lanes. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny and breezy, high 32. Then a mainly clear and breezy night tonight, low 23. For tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and milder, high 40. Partly cloudy and breezy at night, low 29. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 17 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
It's a government shutdown. Yes. Thank you, Justin Kosick. I sing that song in my head every time there's a looming government shutdown.
Yeah, well,
I think of it's the final countdown. Because, CNN's got their countdown clock, 39 hours, 15 minutes, and 31 seconds until the government shuts down.
Leave the singing to the former boy band member. That's our technical producer, Justin. So,
He was in Boys to Men, right? Well, actually, no. He
yeah,
wasn't.
he's the forgotten member of Boys to Men. That's what he is. The government shutdown, government shutdown theater. Jim Jordan from the Freedom Caucus, state championship wrestler.
Oh, that's right. He still has a cauliflower ear.
From Ohio. He's a tough hombre, and he had this to say.
Yeah, he was on with Chris Cuomo in his new show.
Here's what I want. I want us to do what we told the American people we were going to do, what they elected us to do, fund defense, hold the line on non-defense, and do what the election was about on immigration. If the Democrats want to shut down the government because they want to give amnesty to people who came here illegally, then you can have them on your show and they can explain why that's the appropriate thing to do.
Ooh. Just pinned him. There you go. Pretty good. Tim Carney, he's a senior political columnist for Washington Examiner, WashingtonExaminer.com, and he joins us now for more on this and a few other topics. Tim, thanks for being with us.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. So we're going to pretend nobody has any institutional memory in D.C. for this government shutdown theater, right? A government shutdown, which normally means, if I'm recalling correctly, 80% of the federal government's on autopilot and furloughed workers get back pay, and this lasts for a few days, and then we move on to the next thing.
Well, yeah, it's not a good way to pass legislation with the constant threat of a government shutdown, but it also is, as you're pointing out, government shutdown is itself a misnomer. What we call non-essential federal workers, they have unpaid leave, and then without fail, they get the back pay for the work they didn't do. And by the way, if I were looking for ways to save money, I might think, how many non-essential federal workers do we have?
Yeah, that's sort of it's sort of a flashing light, isn't it? If you're characterized as a non-essential worker, that maybe that's telling policymakers something.
Yeah, if they said, well, Amy, you're essential, but Dan, you're kind of non-essential.
Yeah.
So why don't you stay home today?
They have said that, actually.
That would tell us something.
All right, so Paul Ryan needs 216 Republican votes. But there's financial hawks and people from the Freedom Caucus who won't vote for it. And then the Democrats are trying to tie the government funding bill to DACA. So how do you see this playing out?
So as far as how it's going to play out, there's most of the time that this happens, in recent history, since Trump came in, the Freedom Caucus has proven actually more flexible. While back in the Obama era, you would find that there were just a bunch of guys who they weren't just no, they were heck no. And nowadays they're more willing to deal in such a way that they go to leadership and they say, if you can give us X, we will vote for this bill. And so we haven't some of the answers there have to do with the total funding level. It's not entirely clear what the Freedom Caucus is requesting now, and Ryan has shown a better ability to deal with them than John Boehner did. So that's what I think we're going to see is a Republican bill more than a bipartisan bill. And part of it is there's a sort of unspoken rule that's sensible, that the less reasonable side in these government shutdown debates are the ones demanding something that's not a pertinent rider, that's not about appropriations. That was Ted Cruz demanding a shutdown of Obamacare. These other things, the person asking for the extra policy rider usually is treated like the person making the more extravagant demand, and that strikes me as reasonable. These bills should be about funding the government, not about instituting policy.
And on the issue of a DACA border security deal, so much focus has been on the senators who went to Trump with this bipartisan deal that he rejected. Less focus, even though it was certainly part of the conversation in that remarkable hour-long televised tete-a-tete with the president and congressional leaders from both parties, is the Secure America's Future Act that was put together by Goodlatte, McCall, Labrador, and McSally in the House that includes actually what the president says needs to be included, as well as other immigration hawks like McCall and Labrador, frankly, which is increased border security and internal enforcement and dealing with chain migration so DACA designees who get some kind of permanent status can't bootstrap the rest of their family in who did come here illegally through fault of their own. So there's this other deal on the table that's been proposed in the House.
Yeah, and so what we've editorialized on the Examiner basically is there should be an immigration bill. It should be separate from the government funding bill, and it should be making permanent DACA. That is, if you were brought into this country as a child and have followed the law, then we're going to give you permanent resident status because you've been living here for a long time and your life is built around here, and it wasn't because of some decision you ever made to break the law. And in exchange for that, a wall, more border security, and trading out the sort of chain migration and the visa and the green card lottery for something that's more skill-based. And I would even go smaller than that. I mean, I think the narrower the deal you cut on this, the better. And then there's tons of other things to fix on immigration, so have that be the next bill. Part of the thing that's killed immigration has been these plans have just expanded and expanded. Even the Goodlatte bill you mentioned, it includes stuff about E-Verify. It includes new classes of visas, and just that is we're getting too comprehensive. You guys remember the term comprehensive immigration reform?
Yes.
That should be a curse word now. Keep it as narrow as possible. Wall and DACA are the essential things. If we can do chain migration and visa lottery, let's do them too. But keep it narrow.
What about Jim Jordan's position, though? Hey, if the Democrats want to shut down the government over designations for DACA beneficiaries, then go ahead. They can make that case to the American people.
Well, the problem is, you can't make that argument unless you pass it through the House and you get 51 Republican votes in the Senate. And it's not clear that we're at that point now. The Republicans have the ability to pass a government funding bill through the House. The Republicans have the ability to get 51 votes in the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
If they pass a clean funding bill with a majority of Republicans, and then through the House, and then in the Senate they have 51 or more Republicans, and Democrats filibuster it because it lacks a unrelated rider related to a different policy issue. At that point, I would say Jordan has a point. I don't think they're going to win the PR fight. I mean, a government shutdown always gets blamed on Republicans no matter what the fact of the matter is, just because that's the way our media environment is. But as far as sort of being in the right in an abstract way, for whatever that counts, I agree. Pass it through the House, and if you get 51 votes in the Senate because you're not sticking in immigration into a spending bill, then it would be impossible to rightly claim the Republicans.
So what happened to President Trump? I mean, a week ago, last Tuesday, he talked about, this bipartisan bill of love and put a bipartisan bill together. I'll sign it. I'll take the heat for it. And now, who got to him, and how did he change his mind between Tuesday and Thursday?
I just think he's a mercurial man who is not detail oriented. So he says he wants something, and then he sits down after he talks about it, and he thinks about what he wants, and often he wants multiple things that don't go together at the same time. So I think he's a lot like the average voter. I go around the country, I talk to people, and they'll say two things that directly contradict each other. They want a balanced budget amendment, but they also want tax cuts and spending to go up. And I think that Donald Trump, because he's so new to politics, because the business he ran was fairly small, I think his mind is sort of all over the place. So that's when he's one place one week, the next place the next week. That's mostly what I chalk it up to.
Tim Carney from the Washington Examiner, who we're talking to. Tim, you're a man of letters. I'm sure you've read Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago.
Excuse me.
And in the distillation of the Soviet pogroms and under Stalin and so forth. So I was surprised because when I read it, I mean, this, of course, was before Trump was president, but Trump's presidency hadn't called to mind the Stalin regime until yesterday when Jeff Flake spoke to an empty Senate chamber and compared President Trump to Stalin, in addition to other modern-day despots. So it wasn't limited to Stalin, but it certainly included him. So could you help us? Is Trump on the path to instituting a Stalinist regime in America?
No, he is not. And as a journalist, as a writer, one of the things we do is we realize that sometimes saying something that in some precise, small detail, looking only at one particular thing might be true, that's not a productive way to talk, in part because it will lead people away from the truth. So if I were to say that Tom Selleck is like Hitler, because both men have mustaches, this is not a productive way of talking about Tom Selleck's character or appearance or anything like that. So to say that Stalin called the press the enemy of the people, and so did Trump, that's more significant than having a mustache. But it also it calls to mind all the other things that Stalin did, and it detracts. And actually, if you talk about these other people oppressing, whether it's in Turkey, Erdogan, or North Korea, or China, these other regimes that oppress media freedom, and in the context of Trump, what that does to me is that, A, tells me what a great system we have here, how amazing the First Amendment is, and B, tells me how sort of impotent and silly Trump's saber-rattling at the press is. Do you think that the press has been cowed by Donald Trump's talk? No. If anything, they've been revved up. They've been juiced up a little too much, I think. I think the media needs to calm down and stop the chest thumping and just get back to its work. Certainly, we're not seeing stories go unreported because of Donald Trump's threat. We're seeing quite the opposite. When Trump says he's going to take on the media, that gets ratings up, that gets these people's juices flowing, that gets more money flowing into the press. So when you want to compare us to other regimes to where a president says mean things about the press, the main thing that does to me is say, wow, America really is the greatest country in the world because we are nothing like these other countries.
Now, just one point on the Selleck Hitler comparison. Selleck is a Republican, so that basically makes
so I guess
he's a Nazi.
Be an op-ed in the editorial in the New York Times.
Yeah, there you go. And that'll be a leading contender for the 2018 fakies that President Trump will distribute. He is Tim Carney, senior political columnist for the Washington Examiner. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Things are going to start to warm up around here. 23 degrees at O'Hare right now, going up to a high of 32 degrees. We'll have mostly sunny skies. It will be breezy. Then tonight, a low of 24. And for Friday, partly sunny skies, breezy, mild, a high of 40, which we'll see seem downright warm. But now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Anything heating up on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
We've got some big delays, Amy, and also on the rails on the BNSF line. There's a mechanical failure on a Metra train at Westmont. Trains are not getting past Westmont on either direction, so consider an alternate way getting around that BNSF line. Another way to work this morning, the Edens inbound. Heavy Devon to the junction, 28 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. The Kennedy at 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. The Eisenhower's now an hour and 2 minutes from 390 to downtown, 46 minutes from Manheim, outbound 33 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 18 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Got a crash at First Avenue in the 2 left lanes, outbound just 36 minutes. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State jammed, 95th to before the Grand Avenue curve after a crash. Reagan Tollway has delays. Winfield to 355 and 83 to the Tri-State. Eastbound I-80. Traffic is a solid mess. Gallagher to 355. Early morning wreck, still has 2 left lanes closed. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommend visiting my friends at Low T Center. It's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, you take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you get your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and cause you to lose muscle mass. If these are some of the things you've been experiencing, you should go get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now or go to lowtcenter.com.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in. Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
If you're a small business, first impressions can make all the difference. With Grasshopper, you get all the features of a professional business phone system on your mobile phone. Choose a business phone number, make calls, and send texts. Stay connected and work from anywhere with features like Wi-Fi calling and our desktop app. Set up your account in minutes with no long-term contracts and 24/7 customer support. Make your small business big. Now get $20 off your first month when you visit grasshopper.com/radio. That's grasshopper.com/radio.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
You've heard of living trusts and how they can help protect your assets, but you may not know if a living trust is right for you. Or maybe you have questions about creating your own living trust. The fact is, almost everyone can benefit from a living trust, which can protect your assets from the court system and your loved ones from unnecessary expense and inconvenience. Learn more at a free seminar Thursday, January 25th. Estate planning attorney Robert Zapolis will explain how to create your own living trust, estate planning under the new tax laws, why a will does not avoid probate, and more. Have your estate planning and living trust questions answered absolutely free. Don't miss this important seminar Thursday, January 25th at 6:30 p.m. at Papa Joe's Restaurant, 145th and LaGrange Road in Orland Park. The seminar is free and a complimentary dinner is served, but you must make a reservation now. Call 708-478-1400. Call 708-478-1400. Again, 708-478-1400.
Building owners and managers. When it comes to maintaining the value of your commercial, industrial, or institutional building, there will be roof repairs or replacements for you to deal with. When you're looking for a good roofing contractor, search the ChicagoRoofing.org website for Chicagoland's best roofing contractors for repairs, replacements, or new construction. And you can check out their innovative roofing work also. All contractors at ChicagoRoofing.org proudly employ members of Roofers Union Local 11 who have undergone 5 years of rigorous training at the country's leading school for roofing, the Chicagoland Roofers Joint Apprenticeship Training Center. ChicagoRoofing.org contractors are at the top of their game and provide Chicagoland's best value for the best roofs all year long. Building owners and managers, you will have roof repairs or replacements to deal with. It's inevitable. Go to ChicagoRoofing.org. That's ChicagoRoofing.org.
Navigating Chicagoland terrain, the streets and highways in the winter weather is always a breeze, right? Wrong. Unless, of course, you're driving an award-winning Ford SUV or truck from Joe Cotton Ford. Now, more than ever is a great time for a new Ford. America's best-selling brand from Chicagoland's best Ford dealer, Joe Cotton Ford. Not only will you be conquering old man winter, but also getting the white glove treatment without all the hype and pressure you get from other dealers. You see, Joe Cotton Ford is a locally owned dealership that caters to families that keep coming back for generations because of the way they're treated and the Ford brand they can trust. Ready for a different car buying experience with world-class customer service? Then get to Joe Cotton Ford today and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and forget about not being able to get around town this winter. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to ask Ed Morrissey from Hot Air if that special legislative election upset in Wisconsin portends ominous things for Republicans in November. That's at 7:37.
And later, 10 of the dumbest questions reporters asked during Trump's health press conference. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania authorities say multiple police officers have been shot and transported to a local hospital early this morning. Dauphin County District Attorney Fran Chardo has just updated reporters, not commenting on the severity of the injuries. That neighborhood in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, apparently contains row houses, and many police are on the scene in Pennsylvania's capital city. House Republican leaders are scheduling a vote later today on a short-term funding bill to avoid a government shutdown by Friday night. The White House is backing the short-term budget deal.
We do support the short-term CR. However, that's not our first choice.
Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says the administration would prefer a long-term deal. A deep freeze locking parts of the deep south in winter weather, dropping temperatures to bone-chilling points. Some areas have seen 6 to 12 inches of snow. At least 8 deaths have been reported and power is out in many areas. This morning, Kevin Spacey is apparently being investigated by Scotland Yard for a third accusation of sexual assault. The Guardian newspaper is reporting that a man was allegedly sexually assaulted by the actor in London in 2005. Now, police did not directly link Spacey to the new allegation, but hints the alleged perpetrator is the same as the subject of earlier complaints. The 58-year-old actor denies some of the allegations. The Archdiocese of Chicago will be shutting down 5 Catholic schools by year's end, including St. Cyprian School in River Grove, Holy Cross School in Deerfield, Incarnation School in Palos Heights, Our Lady of the Ridge School in Chicago Ridge, and St. Michael's School on Chicago's South Side. Health officials are warning people about a second confirmed case of the measles at O'Hare. The Illinois Department of Public Health says a person infected with the contagious disease arrived January 9th at Terminal 5 and may have exposed others between 8:30 and noon on that day. Mayor Emanuel says he wants Chicago to be in the running if Apple goes forward with plans to build a second headquarters. We get the latest on this developing story from AM 560's David Stewart.
Apple plans to spend $350 billion in 5 years and hire 20,000 people. Some of the money coming from cash returned from overseas under the new tax law. Company's planning a second headquarters to concentrate on customer service. Mayor Emanuel says the qualities that make Chicago attractive to other companies apply to Apple, too, namely an educated workforce, a strong university community, good transportation, and affordable housing.
Chicago, I think, has a lot to offer. I don't know what Apple's looking for, and whatever it is, we're going to go compete, and we're going to put our best foot forward.
No details on what Apple is looking for in a new headquarters. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Well, if you can play quarterback, apparently the University of Illinois wants you. The school needs two quarterbacks, actually. Jeff George Jr. and Chase Crouch both left the team yesterday. George says he wants to spend the last 2 years of college football playing at a different school, while Crouch is simply ending his football career. Warriors over the Bulls, 119-112 at the United Center last night. The news, a service of Lowe's. Pro customers at Lowe's save 5% on every new purchase every day when you use your Lowe's business credit account. 5% on all purchases in-store or online, subject to credit approval, U.S. only. 7:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
It's really cold at this time of the year.
The Joe Walsh Show.
A very nice man in Elgin decided to take in homeless people into his basement to get them out of the cold. And wouldn't you know it, the city government told him to cease and desist. Something about municipal regulations or whatever.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Big government sucks.
Pursue your passion with a degree from Aurora University Online. Choose fully online programs in business, computer science, and more. To learn more, visit online.aurora.edu.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year. It's time to do the things you've been putting off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. I personally recommend visiting my friends at Low T Center. That's where I got my levels tested. They make it quick and easy. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. At Low T Center, their physicians exclusively diagnose and treat men with low T. If you do have low T, it can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol levels, cause weight gain, and cause you to lose muscle mass. If this is something you've been experiencing, you should get your testosterone levels checked. Guys, take the first step this new year. Contact my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's me. The number again, 312-239-3427. Call 312-239-3427 now or go to lowtcenter.com.
7:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. Metro has delays of about 30 minutes or more on the BNSF line after mechanical issues with the train at Westmont. Edens runs 28 minutes from Lake Hook to the junction up on 22, the Kennedy inbound. Really heavy Cumberland into the loop. It is an hour and 4 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose, 25 on the Express. Outbound 34 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 58 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 26 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 22, car fire at 18th. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, jammed from Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, where all lanes are blocked right now, just past North Avenue due to a crash. On the Tri-State, it slows southbound 132 to 137. Northbound from 87th all the way up to North Avenue after there was a crash. It's heavy on the Reagan Tollway and the Veterans Memorial. Eastbound I-80 is jammed. Gallagher to 355. Two left lanes are blocked after a wreck. Traffic, service of Staples. Staples has low prices on the organizational solutions your business needs to clear the clutter, focus on the job at hand this year, like banker's boxes, file folders, and storage bins. Less mess equals more success. Visit Staples.com for more. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny, breezy, not as cold with a high near 32. Currently 19. Your next news update is at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
No Victocrats allowed. Why? Because we've got a country to save. Join me, Larry Elder, tonight starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy, and this was interesting. CNN's Martin Savage did a little focus group on President Trump with Trump voters.
Yeah, they do that. They check in with them every so often.
Checked in with Trump voters in Youngstown, Ohio, and asking the question about how's he doing a year in? Is it better or worse than you imagined? What do you think about the controversies swirling around him, including how he communicates and what he communicates? It was an interesting mix of individuals. You had a African-American pastor. You had a machine shop worker. You had a younger woman who was a college student or just out of college.
Okay.
Here's the predicate question. How's he doing?
I'm with a pastor, a stay-at-home mom, a student, a machine shop worker, and a union member. Democrats or raised in Democrat families who crossed over to vote Trump.
We're 1 year in. How's he doing?
Fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Great. Better than I ever would have dreamt. I mean that sincerely.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Derek?
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes, he's doing wonderful. He's staying on task.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that they're kind of looking at where things are, perhaps, in terms of the economy or just in terms of substantive policy that they're focused on, that he promised, and they're kind of focused on that, and they're cutting through, it seems to me, a lot of the media hype. The machine shop worker asked about Trump's tweets.
So you don't cringe anymore because you've grown numb to it, or?
No, not numb at all, but I know what he's done. And I'm starting to get an inkling why he uses Twitter in the way he does. Because if all he had to rely on is what people say about him, oh my God, I might not like the guy, but I love the guy. I love the job he's doing.
Interesting.
I mean, he does, and he does defend himself on Twitter, and his kids fiercely are protective of their father. And I think they use Twitter, I think, the most to defend their dad. But
yeah, but
the way he processed that, his tweets is
how people are receiving it. Yeah, is interesting, and how they're saying whether or not this is he's getting treated. I mean, his basically saying he's getting treated so unfairly that if he had to rely on people that are never going to say anything positive about him and not defend himself, then, they're kind of putting himself in his position. If I was there, would I defend myself or use outlets where I could get my own message out that I know the Fourth Estate won't help me do? The young black woman on whether Trump is a racist.
Justice met Trump at a rally and says he's not a racist.
He was just the nicest person, and honestly, if he was a racist, as everyone paints him out to be, he could have just walked right past me and not even said a word.
And whether or not, since we just had the 2017 fakies handed out last night.
And if you missed it, we'll do it again at 8:35.
Whether or not the media gives Trump a fair shake.
Do you think the media gives the president a fair shake?
I don't think so at all.
No.
1 year later, these voters couldn't be happier. They see achievement. Most of all, they see a president like them.
And he's like tenacious sometimes and says stuff off the cuff like we do, like real Americans do. We're not perfect. I'm tired of suave. I'm tired of polished. I'm tired of the teleprompter. I am. I want my country back.
Interesting. Very interesting. Democrats who voted for Trump 1 year later in Youngstown, Ohio, center cut Midwest. For more on this and a couple of other topics, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Ed Morrissey, senior editor for HotAir.com and columnist for the week. Ed, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to be on with you. Thank you.
So it seems like this could be what you heard from those individuals who spoke with CNN. This could be, Trump has his base, and his base is not going to leave him, but his base isn't big enough, and so could he ever get to a position where he is going to win re-election? Or could he continue to have policy successes if the Republicans, for example, lose the House in November, and there was a special election in Wisconsin this week where a district that was won by 17 points by Trump in 2016 flipped and a Democrat won. sort of a jarring victory. And I talked to people that are close to Walker up there. Very surprising a victory for Democrats there. It doesn't portend well for November.
No, true. I think that those are things that you have to look at. There's been, I think, 34 legislative seats, state legislative seats, I should say, in the past year that have flipped to Democrats. Now, that you have to keep that in the context of the fact that Republicans had flipped nearly 1,000 legislative seats in the past 8 years. But 34 is a not insignificant number. This is the 34th seat is the one that took place in Wisconsin, and this was considered to be a fairly safe Republican district. Special elections are tricky. You've got to be very careful about extrapolating what happens in a special election to larger trends, because special elections, by their nature, have very different turnout models than normally scheduled elections, and there's different money and different dynamics that go into them. But I think Republicans are right to be concerned. What I do think, and I actually have a column out about that this morning, is that I think people are leaping to a conclusion here without seeing all the evidence yet. And I think that the big thing that's going to impact what happens in November is how the tax reform bill impact will reset some, not expectations, reset the grade, I guess you could say, that Trump and Republicans might be getting by that point in time. We just got that bill passed, and we're starting to see some of the public impact of that bill. Apple came out yesterday and said that they're going to move $250 billion back to the United States. They're expecting to put $350 billion in infrastructure investments over the next 5 years here. It's going to create 20,000 jobs. You've got Walmart and Target. They're going to raise the wage floor, the starting wage at those places, and they're going to give out bonuses to their employees. I mean, I think as those types of things roll out and as job creation gets promoted, some of these calculations are going to change.
Okay, we have 39 hours, 15 minutes, and 37 seconds
thank you
before
for the countdown clock.
I'm looking at the countdown clock on CNN before the government might possibly shut down. If that does happen, which party is going to have egg on their face? The Republicans, the Democrats, or a little bit of both?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think the Democrats think that Republicans will get all the blame because they are, they have the majorities in Congress, but I think voters are a little bit more sophisticated than that, know that you can't pass budgets on simple majorities. I mean, we've gone through this quite a bit. Also, the Republicans have put out a major concession on CHIP. That's the Children's Health Insurance Plan. And the prior bill that would have funded CHIP that Democrats blocked had pay-fors with cuts in other programs. This is apparently a clean 6-year funding of CHIP that is attached to this 1-month continuing resolution. And if Democrats shoot that down, then I think that there's going to be some problems with people in the middle. At least their base will stick with them. But I think there'll be some blame on them too for not taking a deal to get some temporary funding in place so you could work out the rest of the issues. And I don't know that standing on full amnesty for on immigration reform is necessarily going to play well with the entire American electorate for Democrats either. So I think that there's going to be some damage to both parties. And basically what we've learned over the years is that government shutdowns really don't work for anybody.
Well, and speaking of immigration, you had this rather interesting hearing this week with the Homeland Security Secretary, and she had to endure, the bloviations of a Dick Durbin and the histrionics of a Cory Booker and whatnot. But the underlying substance of what she had to say was really interesting, not just in terms of reiterating what the president wants and what Republicans want with respect to immigration reforms beyond providing permanent status to DACA designees, but also going after sanctuary city and state officials and potentially at least exploring the possibility of holding them legally accountable for preventing the enforcement of federal immigration law in their localities. It seems like that's kind of been an underreported event that has both been said by Tom Homan, the ICE director, as well as Secretary Nielsen. Boy, that would be something. You're talking about a few hundred sanctuary cities around the country, a couple of sanctuary states. It's not just California. And if they really sort of weaponize the Justice Department with respect to local units of government as it pertains to federal immigration law, that could be a way to frame the 2018 election, too.
It could be. And I mean, let's remember that it was the immigration issue that really fueled the early rise of Donald Trump in the presidential primaries. I mean, this is a big issue for Americans, and I think that people underestimated just how powerful that issue was going to be in 2016. There's a lot of anger about the fact that immigration reform has, or that immigration, I should say, has been more or less left. It's been left behind. People care about this issue, and nobody's doing anything about it. And I think that there's a lot of anger that goes along with that. I think that there's a basic expectation in American life that we live under a rule of law and that we have laws in the books for a reason, and that those laws should be enforced. And that is even more true for people who don't have permission to be here. And that while Americans might be inclined towards finding reasonable compromises on some things, they still want those laws enforced. And I think that anger over the lack of enforcement is something that's shared broadly by millions of Americans. So when you get down to the midterms and you have one party that's blocking the ability to do anything about enforcing those laws and the other party who's struggling to get the enforcement in place, I think that that's going to be a big issue too.
He is Ed Morrissey, senior editor for HotAir.com, as well as a columnist for The Week. Ed, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We spoke about this earlier. Tom Brady's hand was injured. He had to leave practice a little early yesterday. X-rays have come back. There's no structural damage. His hand just hurts a little, so he'll be fine for this.
Oh,
this
thank
weekend's
goodness.
AFC Championship
What a relief.
game.
Thank you.
Way to pump up the game, huh?
So the Patriots won't have to cheat this weekend then.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
Forecast for today, plenty of sunshine. You can see it out there, but we do have a slight breeze. 22 degrees right now at O'Hare. Actually, it's 17 degrees right now at O'Hare. Going up to a high of 32 degrees tonight, a low of 24. And for Friday, we're going to have partly sunny skies, mild, a high near 40 degrees.
You know what? They better deflate those balls a little bit just to be sure. Because I want his hand to be comfortable on Sunday.
Oh, of course, yes. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center now. Here is the one and only. By the way, my friends just love you. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Oh, thank you, Amy. How kind. Thank you. It's been a rough morning, deflating morning, if you will, on Metra's several lines. We've got delays, big ones on the BNSF line after a mechanical problem at Westmont. We have delays and cancellations on the Union Pacific North line due to a mechanical failure. And there's a cancellation on the electric line on the Blue Island branch due to manpower issues. Kennedy inbound, delay start at Cumberland. It's an hour and 6 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 34 in the Express, outbound 40 to the airport. Edens, 23 minutes Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 26. The Ike is an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound an hour 12, 46 minutes to Manheim. Stevenson, an hour 16, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is a mess. Hollywood past North Avenue. 2 left lanes are blocked due to a crash. Eastbound I-80 still a mess. Calgary to 355, with 2 left lanes remain blocked. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems. Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Ament, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Ament and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Ament needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has been an all-male military school since 1884, but is going co-ed beginning summer 2018. Their midterm registration is January 21st, and you're invited to attend an upcoming St. John's open house. Consider St. John's Northwestern Military Academy for your son or daughter's middle and high school education in the beautiful Lake Country region of southwest Wisconsin. Your child will receive outstanding academics, superb athletics, leadership opportunities, a chance to live and learn with students from around the world, and most importantly, a safe and structured environment where each student can achieve at his or her full potential. To learn more about how a St. John's Northwestern Military Academy education can give your child the advantage he or she deserves, don't miss an upcoming St. John's open house. For open house dates and more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
I'm living alone for the first time in 40 years, and I'm worried something might happen to me.
Live independently with Alarm Detection Systems. We offer medical alert devices with 24/7 emergency assistance monitoring. Setup is easy, and a live professional is waiting to assist you. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Our neighbor had thousands of dollars in flood damage and lost several items that are irreplaceable. Is there a security solution to receive early warning of an event like this?
Of course. Alarm Detection Systems has flood detection systems alerting you when water gathers in your home, giving you time to react. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, quickly, let's take Ramon from Chicago. Ramon, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how's it going, Dan and Amy? First-time caller. I've been listening to your show for like the last over 2 years.
Well,
Great.
welcome.
I was a lifelong Democrat for a long time. Just growing up in Chicago, that was the thing. It was a standard data. Yeah. I've been in the Army, Army for 19 years. Worked for the law enforcement department. I ain't gonna say which one because he's probably watching and monitoring us and saying what we say against him. But besides that, I just want to say that how I see society now, I've been always a conservative, but I didn't understand the Republican Party too much, or still not so much, but I voted against the Democratic Party because living in Chicago, I am so tired of people voting for the same people over and over again. Then they cry about the taxes, but you keep on voting the same person over and over and over again for the same people who this their whole social well-being. I mean, I'm working 2-3 jobs And I don't care because I want better for my kids. I'm going to go to all 2 extremes where my kids get a proper, good private education. And all these people crying, it just makes me so sick to see this way society is going these days. I've learned how to do the stock market ever since I've been watching Republican shows and stuff. I'm learning from Dave Ramsey how to save money. Just my whole thought frame of from being a Democrat, to now a conservative. Just a whole mind frame. Served 19 years in the Army. I hate to see where our country's going. I served in combat. I hate where our country's going to right now. And I have to see the bloodshed of my brothers who fought to die, to come back, and what they die for all these little crybabies.
Thanks for the call. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Ramon. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your service, and thanks for those comments. We're happy to have you over on our side of the skirmish line. And I'm with you, by the way. I don't really get the Republican Party either, but I know I don't want to be with Chicago Democrat crime bosses. So appreciate the call, Ramon. Thanks very much.
Seems like an easy choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting how people, if they engage, and I don't know. It's just what does it take for the scales to fall from people's eyes collectively? We had this great call from Ramon. Remember a couple of days ago we had that call from Cristobal.
Oh yeah.
Kind of the same thing about I'm raising 6 kids, I'm working 3 jobs, and I got other people that are scamming the system. Well, they scam the system. That's just me paying for their scam. They're scamming me, and so it's nice to hear when people are connecting the dots. It's nice to hear people coming. People being open-minded enough to look at the evidence and make a determination based on what they see and what they see people do, rather than just the propaganda, mindless talking points of, frankly, to some extent, both parties. And it's interesting because what Ramon's saying is a lot of what you heard from those Trump voters, Democrats from Youngstown, Ohio, in that focus group on CNN, which was really, I was a bit surprised, and even more surprised that CNN aired it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Kevin Williamson, National Review Online, about the March for Life in D.C., where Trump is going to speak and consummate his reversal on that issue.
And later, fake news awards are out. The winners, the losers, and what Dan wore. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
An immigration rally held in Chicago. 2 killed in a Southside shooting, and the Warriors beat the Bulls. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Will there be a compromise to keep the government funded beyond tomorrow? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Republicans say they want a short-term spending bill to protect the military.
There is a fake deadline created by the Democrats, holding them hostage.
Congresswoman Martha McSally, Democrats keep insisting on a DACA fix. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, spending legislation going up for a vote in the House does not include protections for children brought to America illegally. That means Republicans need to pass a bill without Democratic support. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says there's a bipartisan plan in the Senate that has border wall money and protections for the Dreamers.
We want to do everything we can to avoid a shutdown, but we Democrats believe if there is one, it'll fall on the Republicans' backs.
Meanwhile, members of the Conservative Freedom Caucus are threatening to vote no on the House plan because they want more money for the military. Dave?
Now, Rachel, President Trump tweeted, if there's no wall, there's no deal. The day after the White House Chief of Staff John Kelly said,
there's been an evolutionary process that this president has gone through.
Kelly says he's evolved on the wall, but the president tweeted he's never evolved on the wall, insisting again Mexico will pay for it directly or indirectly. They're shocked. The grandparents of the 13 kids taken out of a house in California. Some were chained to beds, malnourished. The parents, David and Louise Turpin, are due in court today. His parents say the last time they saw the grandkids, they all seemed well-adjusted, joyous, and didn't look skinny at all. Parts of the South are glazed over. Louisiana, the Carolinas, people urge not to drive. This Georgia man says I-85 was slick.
Several lanes, a lot of ice on them. I had to go down real slow.
There were crashes and pileups in several states. People were killed in Georgia, West Virginia, Louisiana. Pope Francis just flew to Peru from Chile, where he begged for forgiveness, discussing the pain and shame of the Catholic Church scandal of priests molesting kids. After taking off this morning for Peru, he helped 2 assistants tie the knot, officiating their wedding. The exciting groom couldn't believe it. He said the Pope's never married anyone on a plane before. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 19 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Health officials are warning about a second confirmed case of measles at O'Hare. The Illinois Department of Public Health says the person infected with the contagious disease arrived January 9 and may have exposed others. University of Illinois infectious disease expert Dr. Susan Bleasdale.
Process of figuring out who was next to this person on the plane. People may not show symptoms until the end of the month or the very beginning of February.
Former social worker at an Elgin psychiatric hospital is accused of sexual abuse. Former patient Mark Owens filed suit yesterday against the Elgin Mental Health Center, claiming Christy Lenhart forced him to have sex with her during his time in that hospital. The state police are investigating. Immigration activists in Chicago called on Washington to help the undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children illegally. Several hundred DACA supporters gathered last night for an immigration rights rally at Daley Plaza. 2 men are dead following a shooting on Chicago's South Side. The pair sitting in a vehicle early this morning near Marquette and Evans when someone in another car shot them. No arrests have been made. Mayor Emanuel says he'll make a pitch for Apple's planned second headquarters.
I think companies are realizing where they are is not a long-term strategy, and Chicago, I think, has a lot to offer.
The tech giant announcing plans yesterday to create, they say, over 20,000 jobs at a new campus. Warriors over the Bulls, 119-112 last night. Bulls guard Chris Dunn chipped 2 of his front teeth in yesterday's loss, tested for a concussion, but no symptoms were showing. The news service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken. Rocket Mortgage is simple so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today, licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Wyndham Worldwide is paying $1.95 billion for La Quinta's hotel franchise and management business. Wyndham says La Quinta will immediately become one of its flagship brands. Could Apple be setting a trend by paying tax on its money outside the U.S.? The Wall Street Journal says Apple is paying approximately 15%, in line with the new tax rate required by the new law, which allows a one-time tax break on repatriating money. Apple says it's building a second campus in the U.S. Emirates Airlines is buying 36 more Airbus A380 Super Jumbo jets, keeping the model alive. The Dow gained 322 yesterday, closing over 26,000 for the first time. The Nasdaq was up 74, also to a record, and the S&P was up 26. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains this is just the beginning of the books coming out about Trump.
I'm watching MSNBC and CNN. It's Bannon. The answer is 17% of Republicans have a positive view of Steve Bannon. This is just one of a bunch of books that will be coming out. They're going to have to build another wing on the Smithsonian for all the books that are going to be coming out.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges & Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
It's 8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is a total mess. Southbound from Bryn Mawr to past North Avenue. Crash blocks the left lane. It is an hour and 5 minutes from Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound delays are from the Stevenson to Jackson and from Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. See delays on the Tri-State southbound Washington to 176. Northbound 95th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Cermak up to 190. On Adams, tollway delays, 59 to Higgins and Elmhurst Road to the Tri-State. Reagan tollway jam, 25 to 53, and Myers to the Eisenhower. Veterans Memorial, very heavy northbound I-55, most of the way to Roosevelt, and the North Avenue to Lake. The delays on the Edens inbound starting at Foster, 23 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. Kennedy, an hour and 6 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 40 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to the Circle, 43 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour and 8 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour 11, 355 to the Drive. The Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A breezy day today with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Otherwise, mostly sunny, high 32. It will remain mainly clear through the night tonight, still breezy with a low 23. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, 18 degrees. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy and Jeff Flake. You know, it's funny, Jeff Flake's speech yesterday before basically an empty Senate chamber.
I know. Where did everybody go? Hey, where is everyone?
It was interesting because the Trump comment, the S-hole comment, and about more from Norway as opposed to from African countries, whatever he said in that meeting about a deal on DACA and border security. The thought was, well, he invoked Norway because he had just recently met with the Norwegian president.
Prime Minister, yeah, whatever.
And so here's my supposition about Jeff Flake.
Okay.
I think the impetus for this speech was that Jeff Flake is leaving the Senate.
And he's of Norwegian descent?
No. I think that he recently saw Darkest Hour.
Oh.
And he thought he would have a Churchillian moment to deal a death blow to President Trump, who's become a rival, to rousing ovations and rallying the country to something important. You tell me, listening to this high-minded rhetoric and comparisons to historic despots, murderous regimes like Stalinist Russia, if that isn't the case.
It was a year in which an unrelenting daily assault on the constitutionally protected free speech was launched by the same White House, an assault that is as unprecedented as it is unwarranted. The enemy of the people was how the President of the United States called the free press in 2017. Mr. President, it is a testament to the condition of our democracy that our own president uses words infamously spoken by Joseph Stalin to describe his enemies. It bears noting that so fraught with malice was the phrase enemy of the people that even Nikita Khrushchev forbade its use. telling the Soviet Communist Party that the phrase had been introduced by Stalin for the purpose of, quote, annihilating such individuals, unquote, who disagreed with the supreme leader. This alone should be the source of great shame for us in this body, especially for those of us in the President's party, for they are shameful, repulsive statements. And of course, the President has it precisely backward. Despotism is the enemy of the people. The free press is the despot's enemy, which makes the free press the guardian of democracy. When a figure in power reflexively calls any press that doesn't suit him fake news, it is that person who should be the figure of suspicion.
For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Kevin Williamson, a roving correspondent for National Review. And by the way, sat down and did Against the Current interview with Kevin Williamson a few weeks back when he was in Chicago. So you can get that at upstream-ideas.com. Always good to have Kevin on. Kevin, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. So I know you're not the biggest Trump fan, but is it fair for Jeff Flake to intimate that Trump is just a mere 20 million murders away from being Stalin?
Well, I don't think that's exactly a fair reading of what Flake said. He's criticizing him for using the same terminology, and presumably underlying that terminology is some similar thinking. I think that you do have to be careful when comparing people or even bringing into the conversation figures like Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, whatnot. But it is worth noting the history of the origins of phrases and of ideas, and I think that is entirely fair. I think maybe the Norwegian he had in mind was Ibsen, though, who wrote a play called The Enemy of the People, and so that might have been on his mind.
But you also
of course, Trump is pretty bad on the subject of the press, and it's not just the fake news stuff and the tweets and things. He has suggested, for instance, changing the libel laws in ways that would make it more difficult for journalists to operate and easier for politicians to silence them. So this is something that we should be paying attention to. It should be criticizing, and I think that Flake is doing the right thing in doing that.
So you really, you embraced what Jeff Flake was saying yesterday on the Senate floor?
Not all of it. I think that Flake was saying what he thinks. I don't believe all of it. I don't believe all of anything anyone says in the Senate. I happen to be in Washington right now, which always reminds me of that fact. But I think Flake is saying what he honestly believes, and I think that on the general point of Trump's attitude toward freedom of the press and toward the press as an institution, he's right, yeah.
Well, so here's the thing, though, and I agree with you about Trump's statements about tightening up libel laws, or frankly, expanding libel laws actually is a better description. But Trump thrives on the press. All he does is watch TV. He wouldn't have anything to do, really, if he didn't watch TV and respond to the press and tweet about the press. So don't you see this as more showmanship than a tilt towards authoritarianism or constraining a free press?
I think it's always a mistake to people make excuses for Trump, right? So if he does something stupid, he does something outrageous, hey, it's just showmanship. He's the president of the United States of America. We have to take him seriously. We have to take seriously what he says and what he does. It's the same thing with his, sort of personal, petty, venal corruption. You're bragging about buying and selling politicians in New York. Well, he's a businessman. That's what one has to do. He's the president of the United States of America. We have to take his character seriously.
All right. Let me move on to a couple of pieces you wrote for National Review, and I need you to kind of square the circle here because on the one hand...
We're going to talk about porn now.
On the one hand, you characterize Trump as the porn president and building off of this story coming out about Stormy Daniels and the payoff to this adult film star and the allegations of a relationship between her and Trump and all that. And on the other hand, you have a piece about Trump being the first sitting president to speak at the March for Life this weekend. So the porn president speaking at the March for Life.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think I mentioned Trump at all in my column about the March for Life. But yeah, I guess he is talking. So, good for him on that. I always have a bit of skepticism about people who have late life changes of heart on the subject of abortion, including ones who move in the right way. Mitt Romney was not always a very pro-life guy until he decided he wanted to run for president again a few years back, and suddenly had a change of heart. If you haven't figured out what you think about abortion by the time you're 60 or so, I think maybe you haven't given the question enough the issue enough thought, rather. And Trump is one of those people who had a fairly late life conversion on the issue, so color me skeptical about his sincerity there. But on the upside, he is, as a functional matter, doing what you would want him to do. The sorts of judges he's appointed have been the sorts of judges you'd like to see appointed. The attorney general he's appointed is the sort of attorney general you'd like to see appointed if you care deeply about that issue. And he is, at the moment anyway, willing to invest some political capital in it, so good for him.
Yeah, but we just never heard his aha moment, why he went from pro-choice to pro-life.
Well, yeah, and even if we did, would it matter very much? I mean,
well,
the guy's a snake. You can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. He is a habitual liar. He could not tell the truth for 24 hours in a row. He put a gun to his head.
Hello.
He's just a dishonest, fundamentally dishonest person.
All right, well, let's talk about the porn president now, then.
Well, I mean, no, wait, hold on 1 second on this, though, because...
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about that story where I would expect him to be more honest, because if there's one thing about Trump, it's that he has never made much of an issue to keep his sex life a secret, including his affairs and his adultery and whatnot. In fact, he had an imaginary friend called John Barron, whose job was to call up New York City newspapers and talk about Trump's dating life and his sex life and that sort of thing. So the only part of the Stormy Daniels story that rings untrue to me is Trump trying to keep it quiet rather than putting it on a billboard.
But eventually, I mean, she's did an interview with In Touch magazine, and it's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, this might kind of explode. He was married to Melania for a year. I know. He was. Well, come on. He was married to Melania. They were just a year into their marriage when he allegedly had this affair. And what's the alleged payoff, or what can you tell us about
$130,000. Yeah.
To keep her.
Yeah,
silent?
but so you know, to your point, where does this go? This is like the attempt to resuscitate the harassment stories from the campaign with those three women that came forward, were on Megyn Kelly's show and so forth, and that went nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of, is this the thing about Trump and his character and his personal escapades that people finally, get upset about or care about? I don't know. I'd be surprised. The people who are hardcore Trump supporters seem to have just decided they're not going to think about these things or talk about these things. I'd really like to ask Jerry Falwell Jr. about this, or Tony Perkins about this in public. These people who have really, really gone to bat for Trump, not only as, he's functionally useful to us from a purely political point of view, but arguing that he is a man of great moral stature, a great Christian leader, this sort of stuff. I mean, that stuff is unbelievable to start with. Yeah. But, some of those evangelical leaders and Christian leaders and socially conservative leaders need to be called on the carpet about this stuff.
Well, does he ever go to church? I know people would rip on Obama for not going to church, and sometimes he would. They were does he? Does anybody know?
Yeah, he was asked about this during the campaign. I forget which church he goes to. I want to say it's a Lutheran church, because he mentioned talking about taking communion and saying that's the only wine he ever drinks because Trump is a teetotaler otherwise.
Not one of his vices. So here's now I know Bill Buckley, the sainted Bill Buckley, founder of National Review, did not have kind things to say about Trump when on the occasion that he wrote about him. But Buckley also said, conservatives need to do a better job of giving people room to come over to their side. And so, how do you, as sort of as you can tell, sort of an anti-Trumper, to be polite about it, how do you, as you were talking about, you give him credit for speaking the March for Life and for appointing judges and so on. How do you deal with who you think this guy is in terms of character? And what you see this guy doing in terms of, in many respects, advancing a conservative policy agenda?
Well, I'm not running for office. Recruiting people to come over to my side isn't my job. I just write what I think about things. Mm-hmm. So that's easy for me. I just tell people what I actually think about stuff as it happens. So I don't really have to think about it too strategically. I can speak and write honestly about who Trump is and what sort of man he is, and I can speak and write honesty about the policies he pursues as president.
All right, fair enough. He is Kevin Williamson, roving correspondent for National Review, and you're going to be at the March for Life, aren't you, Kevin?
I will be, yes.
All right, great. So we'll look forward to more of your musings on that topic. And again, at upstream-ideas.com, a long-form interview I did with Kevin a few weeks ago. You can check that out there. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, new information about those 13 kids chained up to their beds and furniture in California in their house. But first, here's your forecast. Mostly sunny today, as you can see. Plenty of sunshine. But it is breezy and still cool. A high of 32 degrees tonight, a low of 24. And for tomorrow, we're going to have partly sunny skies, mild, a high of 40 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Eastbound I-80 is jammed. Richards to 355. An early morning wreck has still 2 left lanes blocked for ongoing investigation. Edens is 23 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 30 to Kennedy. Heavy starting at Nagel. It is an hour from O'Hare to downtown. 40 minutes from Montrose. 25 on the Express. Outbound 38 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes. 390 to downtown. 50 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 58 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 39 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is brutal after a crash past North Avenue. Delays start at Bryn Mawr. It is an hour from Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound delays from Stevenson to Jackson and Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. Northbound Tri-State slows Southwest Highway to 47th, Stevenson to 31st, and from Roosevelt up to the Adams Tollway. The other tollways still have significant delays, too. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show. You just heard me talking about a long-form interview series against the current. Kevin Williamson. The current edition features Zach Model, who's the fourth-generation manufacturing executive, Atlas Toolworks and Lyons. Talk about manufacturing in Illinois and why the renaissance isn't happening here like it's happening in our Midwestern neighbors. So you want to check that out. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes to the Illinois Opportunity Project about bad actors in Illinois politics. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. And our series, Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day, their impacts on families. This week, the topic, when will the Me Too reckoning come to Springfield? And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com. All things property taxes, including a free report on the property taxes on your home and their impact. You can get all of the property tax info at defendhomeowners.com and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Email and the internet have done some wonderful things for business owners. There's more information at your fingertips, making decision-making a lot easier. The downside for some is the lost advice and interaction of working side by side with someone who can help. If you're looking for a business accountant that provides one-on-one service, call our newest business benefactor, James Cardelis of Archer Tax and Accounting. For example, at a recent visit to a small client, Archer Tax saved the family at least $60,000 through deferred capital gain taxes, probably forever. That does not happen with a monthly email of a data file. 2018 will be a crazy year for sole proprietors and small businesses with the new tax laws. If you want an idea of how your business will be affected and how to capitalize on the new rules, Archer Tax is offering a free consultation to discuss your needs one-on-one. Call 708-633-9854. Again, 708-633-9854, or visit archertax.biz today. The website again, archertax.biz.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
That's one thing I like about Balance of Nature. Y'all listen, you talk and communicate, and not just give us your order. We're done. Bye. You know, it to me it makes more. I want to say kind of a family-oriented business. That we're out here for you, and we're part of your extended family, trying to fill you in, rather than just take your money.
I feel great. A lot of the aches and pains I have the arthritis in my hand seems to have dissipated most of the time, and I feel wonderful.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Building owners and managers. When it comes to maintaining the value of your commercial, industrial, or institutional building, there will be roof repairs or replacements for you to deal with. When you're looking for a good roofing contractor, search the ChicagoRoofing.org website for Chicagoland's best roofing contractors for repairs, replacements, or new construction. And you can check out their innovative roofing work also. All contractors at ChicagoRoofing.org proudly employ members of Roofers Union Local 11 who have undergone 5 years of rigorous training at the country's leading school for roofing, the Chicagoland Roofers Joint Apprenticeship Training Center. ChicagoRoofing.org contractors are at the top of their game and provide Chicagoland's best value for the best roofs all year long. Building owners and managers, you will have roof repairs or replacements to deal with. It's inevitable. Go to ChicagoRoofing.org. That's ChicagoRoofing.org.
At last, the new year is here. What do you see ahead? Happy days and carefree nights?
Credit card bills?
Right, credit card bills.
Looking at months of high-interest credit card bills from all that generous holiday gift-giving? Time to go to Lightstream and get a low-interest rate credit card consolidation loan. Act now to get an even lower rate with our special radio listener discount. Go to lightstream.com/news to get rates as low as 5.39% APR with autopay. And with average interest rates on credit cards at 17% APR, Lightstream could save you thousands of dollars in interest. Makes the new year a whole lot brighter, doesn't it? The application takes minutes online. There are no fees, and you can have funds as soon as today. So if you have good to excellent credit, apply today and get a special interest rate discount at lightstream.com/news. That's lightstream.com/news. lightstream.com/news.
Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.5% autopay discount available only when you select autopay prior to loan funding. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for important information about limits on Lightstream loans and same-day funding.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
Some breaking news. Chicago, a finalist for Amazon's HQ2, the Chicago Tribune reporting.
Oh, so we made it to the top 5?
Yeah.
Or top 10?
And I'm sure people who think we're going to land it also thought we were going to land the 2016 Olympics, too. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't get that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we got that.
Got a lot of reaction from Kevin Williamson's interview, too, obviously from Trump fans. Don't like hearing those kind of power punches in the direction of their president, of the president, I should say. But here's the thing: you gotta take on some cognitive dissonance, and we do that here. You got to be willing to take on the cognitive dissonance. Kevin Williamson is an ally on so many issues, and so.
But he's just another Trumper.
I mean, he's the guy who wrote the infamous column that I agreed with at the time. Witless ape rides down escalator. And with respect to Trump's announcement. So, hey, I get it, and I get it, but you have to have a good discussion within, the realm of the reasonable, and Kevin Williamson is within that realm. So, I understand people's reactions to it, but I just wanted to make a statement about, being willing to take in the range of opinions.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll take in the range of opinions on the president's gala event, the fakies, as we're calling them, the fake news awards.
And we'll find out what Dan Proft wore to the event. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 19. A district attorney in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, says 2 police officers have been shot and severely wounded. It took place in a quiet neighborhood. The officers were transported to a nearby hospital. The shooter remains holed up inside that house. Many police on the scene in a middle-class community in the capital city neighborhood. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits at its lowest level in 45 years. The Labor Department reporting today initial claims for unemployment benefits dropped by 41,000. House Republican leaders scheduling a vote later today on a short-term funding bill to avoid a government shutdown on Friday night. The deep freeze locking in over the deep south. Winter storm dropping temperatures and up to 12 inches of snow in spots. 8 deaths have been reported. Many areas seeing major power outages. The Archdiocese of Chicago will be closing 5 Catholic schools at the end of this school year because of declining enrollment and financial difficulties. Immigration activists took to the streets of Chicago last night. Several hundred DACA supporters gathered at Daley Plaza. And the Oak Park Village Board is deciding to throw out the Divvy bike sharing service, saying it's a losing proposition. Use of the hourly rental bikes, proven popular in some parts of Chicago, absolutely did not take off in Oak Park, and the mayor there says the village stood to lose about $80,000 a year for the 13 docking stations, even with a discount. Warriors come to life in the second half and finally put away the Bulls at the United Center, 119-112. College hoops last night. Northwestern in the Big Ten fell to number 22 Ohio State, 71-65. The news service of Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price, and it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save. 8:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Talk of a coup is no laughing matter.
I want you to consider the seriousness of an attempt at a coup. This isn't funny. This isn't lighthearted. This shouldn't be just gossip. Watching people attempt to take down a presidency is starting to really get my attention.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:35 and a check of our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound I-80 traffic is stop and go Richards to 355, where all lanes have reopened after a major wreck which happened early this morning. It's also a heavy farther east, LaGrange Road to Harlem. Edens is 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 30. On Kennedy, an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 40 minutes from Montrose, 25 on the Express, outbound 38 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes, 390 to downtown, 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound still 58 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Bryn Mawr to past North Avenue. It's better than it was, so 45 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Southbound Tri-State, heavy 120 to 137, and Balmoral to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Southwest Highway to 87th, the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Adams Tollway. Veterans Memorial heavy, Boughton most of the way up to St. Charles, and then North Avenue to 290. Southbound 53 is the Palatine to Northwest Highway and Beesterfield to 355. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny, breezy, not as cold. High 32, clear, breezy 24 overnight. Currently 19 degrees. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter, well, hear about it from your friends. Find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy and the Fakies. Big event yesterday, a star-studded affair.
What row did you sit in, and what were you wearing?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a magical evening. And it's nice to see all the stars out. You had all the heavy hitters, the leading outlets, the leading opinion makers.
And there were some disappointments, too. I mean...
Well, first of all, it's an honor just to be nominated for a Fakie.
Right. That's true.
But for best fake news story of the year, I mean, we got to start at the top. Best fake news story of the year. It turns out they like Paul Krugman. They really like him.
How much do they like him?
They liked him so much they gave him the best fake news story of the year, the president did. Paul Krugman, of course, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, a New York Times op-ed writer, saying on Trump's election, on the day of Trump's election, markets will never recover from Trump.
Never.
And, of course, in the first year of Trump, the Dow's up to 30%.
Yeah.
So that was a deserving winner.
Yeah, you know who one of the losers is? There's two. NBC and CBS. They're not in the top.
No, they didn't take home any statues.
No, they got snubbed. I thought for sure MSNBC, Mika and Joe might have gotten something, but
you doing Catherine McKinnon doing Mika, not bad.
I need a Starbucks to slurp down. So they didn't get mentioned at all. My favorite, though, just because I had heard about this from one of my friends who lives in Europe and called me and said, you know what, you're right on this fake news thing. I'm starting to believe you, because she always watched, President Trump when he was in Japan with the prime minister, and they're at Koi Pond, and they were feeding the fish. And Trump, they say, defiantly overfed the fish. He was very dismissive. He dumped the whole box in. Well, he did that because the Japanese prime minister did that first, but CNN chose not to show us that. Instead, they made it sound like President Trump was selfish and stupid and could be hurting the fish by overfeeding them because they could die from that.
Yeah. You are fake news.
And
so that was they won the category for false fish.
For the old man in the sea award. Yeah, for biggest fish story. Congratulations to CNN. CNN also, by the way, Krugman won best fake news story or fake news contention, and CNN though
was mentioned several times.
CNN took home the most hardware, no question about it. So it was a big night for CNN.
CNN falsely reported that former FBI Director James Comey would, despite President Trump's claim that he was told he is not under investigation.
Yeah, you've had a lot of casualties of the D.C. press corps' war on Trump, haven't you? You've had a number of people fired at CNN for their shoddy journalism. I'm not going to say fake news. I actually don't like that phrase. But for their shoddy journalism. You've had Brian Ross
suspended and reassigned.
Yeah, to Siberia for his shoddy journalism, contending that Trump directed Flynn to contact the Russians during the campaign. Of course, that's just wholly inaccurate. There's no basis for that at all.
Yeah, but that irresponsible reporting sent the financial markets tumbling more than 300 points.
Well, right.
That's a big deal. So he was suspended and later reassigned. Yeah. So
you've had, it's been interesting, the number of people who have suspended all of their ethics in pursuit of taking down Trump, and only to have that redound to their detriment.
I love number 4, Time Magazine. They falsely reported that President Trump removed a bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office, and then Fox News was quick to show President Trump standing next to the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. Never
Mhm.
took that out.
Yeah, that was the that was for achievement in the area of Trump is a racist stories.
What about number 8, Newsweek? This made me mad too. They falsely reported that the Polish First Lady, Agata Kornhauser-Duda,
name assassinator,
did not shake President Trump's hand when they met. That is not true. She shook his hand, and here's a picture of it. So that fakie was well deserved.
Well, the other interesting thing is in these fake news award recipients that the president so designated, the stories they chose to report are as you said with your friend talking about the silliness over the koi pond, feeding the fish in the koi pond in Japan. You're trying to turn that into something that's controversial or something that otherwise is meant to undermine the president's credibility with the American people. I mean, that's the level of your desperation, overfeeding a fish in a koi pond,
It's character assassination.
It's,
I mean, really, it's defamation of character. It's that they're editing. They are fake news. It's a lie.
Well,
they're presenting misrepresentations to the public and
But-
to people around the world.
but it's about idiosyncratic things. It smacks of desperation, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah.
And
of
so
course. That's why they got the award.
And when you're desperate, it doesn't exactly enhance your credibility, and so that's what you've seen happen again and again. But now Jeff Flake in his Jeremiah against the president yesterday in the Senate floor to no one, other than the cameras.
Was Al Franken there?
Sure, he'd love to be.
I mean, more people were at Al Franken's speech than at his.
He suggested that it was this whole thing about fake news awards was an unseemly spectacle. Unseemly spectacle or good marketing of the unfair treatment that Trump has received at the hands of the D.C. press corps, reminding people with legitimate examples. I mean, the 11 awards that were handed out are legitimate examples of bad journalism. No question about it. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Dan in Evanston, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, hi, Dan and Amy, for having me chime in. You know, the National Review luminary was commenting on all this. He missed a golden opportunity. Here's Jeff Flake taking to task our president for calling, out the media. Well, I was thinking of Walter Duranty, the Pulitzer Prize New York Times journalist, representative of the free press, who it turns out was very much the guardian of the despot Stalin. He's responsible for starving a whole lot of Ukrainians, and I thought that was the perfect time for that National Review luminary to bring that up, and I was disappointed that he missed that opportunity.
Okay. All right. Thanks for the call, Dan. Appreciate it.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And then number 11, and last but not least, Russian collusion. Russian collusion is perhaps the greatest hoax perpetrated on the American people. All in capital letters, there is no collusion. That's from President Trump's awards. Congratulations to everyone, and hopefully you'll be better next year. Be more responsible. Forecast for today, let's see. We have temperatures hovering near 19 degrees. Winds out there, so it's kind of cool. A high of 32 is what we're going to hit. Tonight, a low of 24. And tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, milder, a high of 40 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Busy day, especially southbound Lakeshore Drive. Has that gotten any better?
It has, Amy, absolutely. It's still very heavy from Bryn Mawr to past North Avenue. There was a crash which had just about everything blocked for a while. The travel time is much higher than normal, but a lot better than it was. Right now it's 45 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe. Jam again starting at Bryn Mawr. Northbound slow from the Stevenson to Jackson and from past Bryn Mawr to Hollywood. Also been a rough morning on eastbound I-80, but things are clearing up a bit there. Still stop and go Richards to 355, where all lanes have reopened after a major wreck. On the inbound Kennedy, delays start at Nagel, an hour and 7 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 49 minutes from Montrose, 27 on the Express, outbound 38 to the airport. Aiden's 23 minutes, Lyco to the junction, outbound 30. The Ike, an hour 14, 390 to downtown, outbound 43 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 39 minutes. Orion, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Parents, grandparents, listen up. If you're not happy with your child's public school or maybe even the private school they're in right now and you want a change, it's not too late to go to halfpriceschools.com. Also, it's never too early to start planning for the fall where you want to be sending your child to school. If you thought maybe you couldn't afford private school, then listen up. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over the Chicagoland area that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase a tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland area, as I mentioned, including Faith Evangelical Lutheran School in Antioch, Westminster Christian School in Elgin, Lake County Baptist School in Waukegan, just to name a few. There's even one St. Paul Evangelical Lutheran in Chicago. So make private school a real option for your family for the first time this year, but do not wait. These vouchers will sell out. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Famous conservative quotes presented by Automated Systems.
Our third president, Thomas Jefferson, stated, "All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent." What a great reminder to all.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit AutomatedSYS.com.
This is Dan Proth with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. A 75-year-old gropey, dopey plagiarist could win, but Oprah couldn't. A 76-year-old Trotskyite from Vermont with a wife under federal investigation for bank fraud could win, but Oprah couldn't. Viewed against Biden's shovel-ready ribbon cuttings and Bernie's renamed post offices, Oprah is clearly the most qualified candidate. To doubt Oprah's viability is to be oblivious to the era of puerile YouTube celebutants ushered in by their helicopter parent friends. As our electoral politics careens towards part reality show, part awards gala, Oprah could do to Dems in 2020 what Trump did to Republicans in 2016, turn them into seat fillers. Half the nation proved they care only about what a president says and how he says it. They didn't like Obama's policies, but they liked his pseudo-sophistication and Al Green impersonation. They don't like Trump's coarse rhetoric, but they like his policies and Alec Baldwin's impersonation. Such an electorate is a target-rich environment for a professional sentimentalist like Oprah. The false good of sentimentality from the false gods of celebrity is what the people want. As Oprah protege Dr. Phil might say, when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing. Totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now. And this is the first time. And I can't even thank you enough.
The last thing I want to do is stop taking this. I definitely have lots more energy.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
For more than a half century, Mueller CPA and Financial Advisory has provided audit, tax, outsourced accounting, business consulting, and financial advisory services to Chicagoland companies. Mueller provides customized financial guidance to a client base that includes independent business owners, startups, local government, and nonprofits. I'm with Dave Nissen, Mueller Managing Partner.
Thanks, Dan. Mueller values being part of the community for the last 50 years, meeting our clients' financial service needs. A major component of meeting those needs is our professionals' superb knowledge and their ability to deliver timely and quality solutions to meet our clients' challenges. Whether you're interested in tax minimization strategies, looking to expand your business, or need assistance with business planning, our team can help. Our goal is your company's financial success today and over a lifetime.
For questions about how the recent legislative changes can specifically affect your business or how to effectively plan for these changes, call Dave Nissen at 847-888-8600 or visit MuellerCPA.com. That's Mueller, Mueller, CPA.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hola! Oh, yes. Hello, hello. That's what the Spanish version of hello is, don't you know? Cold, snowy here, not fun. It's been a rough few weeks, but it's sunny and warm in Riviera Maya, Mexico.
Well, we're in Mexico.
And that's where we're heading in a few months with Apple Vacations, and you're invited to come along with us. We'll be staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort. It's a short drive from the Cancun airport. Maroma Beach is recognized as one of the world's best beaches. It is beautiful, blue waters, just gorgeous, gorgeous snorkeling there. And you can come along, but you need to act quickly. The price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. I know a handful of people who have already signed up. Don't drag your feet on this, folks. You're going to want to get in on this. The resort is beautiful. Adults only, really, that's all you need to know. 24-hour room service, 9 restaurants, 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks. And these trips are always just memory makers, I can tell you that. So don't miss out. Enjoy a week in Riviera Maya, Mexico with us. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport and book your trip today.
Well said, Amy.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first.